with a free Freddo frog with every 30-cent cone. Better hop in quick.
We're not going to take them very lightly. We're going to come out and play our regular game.
You know, this is an exciting challenge, and it's fun. But if for some reason we would lose, it's an exhibition game. We don't have our team. And unless they were taking our trophy away, then we'd have trouble.
I don't think we'll go too badly. As a matter of fact, I think we'll be competitive. Obviously, we're giving away a lot of height and probably a lot of weight, but experience-wise, we've got a lot of guys that our starting five's quite experienced. So, hopefully we can catch them at the right end of the season. They're just starting out and we're peaking.
The thing I've got to make sure they do is not go out in total awe of what the situation will be, because they won't play well. It's just a matter of making sure they're confident and understanding that these other guys are good, but they're not superhuman. They make mistakes. You can steal the ball off them. You can shoot against them. Don't panic and just try to play our game. That's going to be difficult, against the best NBA team in the world.
Hello and welcome to London for the 1995 McDonald's World Club Championship. You're about to see one of the most important games in the history of Australian basketball. Our own NBL champions, the Perth Wildcats, have been invited to play in this tournament for the very first time, and they are seeded along with the NBA champions, the Houston Rockets. Now, they will play each other in just a few moments, and the winner of that game will go straight into the grand final. There are 4 other teams competing for that same right. Maccabi Tel Aviv of Israel, Real Madrid of Spain, Buckler Bologna from Italy, and the Great Britain team, the host nation, the Sheffield Sharks. So prestige for the Perth Wildcats, but a very tough assignment ahead of them. The only good news for them really is that the world's greatest player, Hakeem Olajuwon, will not be lining up for the Rockets. He has an elbow injury. So sit back, relax, and enjoy one of the big ones. Perth Wildcats versus the Houston Rockets.
We're set to take a check of the starting lineups for tonight's semi-final round game for the Rockets. It'll be Chucky Brown, Mark Bryant filling in for the injured center, Hakeem Olajuwon. Bryant, longtime Portland Trailblazer, came over as a free agent to the Rockets. And Robert Horry, who can do it all. Great outside shot, great leaping ability, terrific shot blocker. Outside threat, Kenny Smith, and 33-year young Clyde the Glide Drexler, a future NBA Hall of Famer without question. Also in the backcourt for Rudy Tomjanovich's Houston Rockets. For the Australian League champion Perth Wildcats, up front it'll be Scott Fisher along with James Crawford and Andrew Vlahov, the team captain. He is pretty much the star of the ball club, very versatile. And in the backcourt, Ricky Grace, the former University of Oklahoma standout, and Aaron Trahair, who is a good shooter and passer. Trahair is the off guard, Grace the point guard. The Perth Wildcats are coached by Dr. Adrian Hurley, 30 years as a coach, coached 3 Olympics. And Quinn, the other day in practice, when we asked Coach Hurley about his team's style, he just laughed and said, whatever I say, guys, it's going to sound ridiculous going against the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, he talked about his team being a physical team, and I'm sure they are in the NBL and in Australia, but physical compared to what? I mean, but the Houston Rockets are not necessarily known as a physical team.
Quick check of the rules as we show you 4 bullet points, 24-second clock, 3-point line, same as the NBA, 22 feet, 7 timeouts in regulation, no 20s, and the players can touch the ball on the rim, unlike in the NBA.
Yeah, see, and the thing that's a change for the players, NBA players, is understanding the players can touch the ball on the rim once it hits the rim. The other thing that's a little unusual, as you see the officials right there, is that trapezoid lane. That's going to be a little different from, because NBA players are accustomed to it being in a rectangle.
So here we go, the first shot by Trahair as Australia controls the opening tip. Here's Ricky Grace. Grace on the drive, and he's fouled on the play. Kenny Smith converging on Grace. How about those new uniforms the Houston Rockets sporting here tonight? Very spiffy.
Yes.
Couldn't have said it any better, huh?
You just worded that just like I was thinking.
Thank you.
Ricky Grace gets a chance to play. I think he thought he should have been playing, you know, in the league for some time. So he gets a chance to try to show his wares against some NBA players.
Made it to the 88 NCAA Finals, college basketball in the United States, losing out to Danny Manning and the Kansas Jayhawks. Here comes Clyde Drexler. He shovels it off to Robert Horry for three.
But that's the toughest part for Houston, I think, is to make sure they don't get caught up in what the fans are doing. They call an offensive foul on Ricky Grace. But you like the fans' enthusiasm, but what you can't afford to do is start letting that dictate how you play your game.
And there is the man we spoke of before, Dr. Adrian Hurley, the head coach of the Perth Wildcats. Basically a young team that is living a dream. They've got a few veterans like 35-year-old James Crawford, who came through the small college ranks, and this is such a thrill for a man like James to be playing against the champion Rockets. Smith for three. Kenny Smith, who was 8th in the league in three-point shooting at 43% last year. Trahair misfires, back to the Rockets.
Yeah, Trahair's going to make it a long night if he's going to come down and try to trade threes that quickly. But that, that could be the strategy. Get it down. If you get a good look and you're open, take the shot, because the Perth will have a tough time getting the ball inside.
Here's Horry again. Inside to Brown. Brown extending the ball, and then he is fouled.
Well, if Chucky Brown is posting you up, I know that's something different, because they don't necessarily look for Chucky Brown to give them offense. But Perth, you talk to the players. Remember how excited they were about this? I mean, and I'm sure there's a bit of emotion. Not more a bit. There's a lot. There's some anxieties out here. You're playing against the defending world champions with or without Akeem, but the world is watching you do this. This has got to be pretty exciting for them.
Nice steal by Andrew Vlahov, number 21. Goes back to the Rockets, though. Rockets with the 3-0 lead on the three-pointer by Smith. 10:38 to go in the first. Andrew Vlahov, 6'7", 227. He's the team captain. Decent rebounder. Versatile ball player inside and out. Orino. They get it back. Chucky Brown, and he draws the foul.
That's why they have Chucky Brown on the court. He's aggressive. He'll go get rebounds, and that allows the balance of the team to take shots. You need a couple role players, and he's one of the role players for the Rockets.
Brown, a very workmanlike player, works hard in the trenches, 6'8", 215 in his 7th year at North Carolina State. Was signed last season from the CBA to a 10-day contract and stayed on to battle bigger players and help the Rockets win a title.
Yeah, he did. When I was coaching the Dallas Mavericks for the year that I coached him, Chucky Brown was one of the players we picked up. And at the time he came in, and unfortunately for everybody, he came in out of shape, because you always thought that he had a chance to be able to be an active rebounder. He came in out of shape, stayed out the rest of the year, ended up, as you said, going to the CBA and coming to the Houston Rockets. He's since won 2 NBA championships. So it just shows you how life is sometimes.
Foul on Mark Bryant. The Rockets love Brown's grit and determination. Somebody may have lost a contact over there.
No,
or it's too slippery.
They're worried about whether or not it's too slippery, and over there, one of the guys fell out on the floor, and that perspiration, you got to get up.
So they wipe down the moisture on the court. 4-0 Rockets, who are thus far twirling a shutout. 10:20 to go in the first. Here's Ricky Grace into the front court against Kenny Smith. Number 7 is James Crawford. Down low it goes to Vlahov. And Vlahov out of bounds when he made the save.
He made a good shot. I thought Vlahov had Robert Horry right where he wanted him. He had him under the basket and just missed the shot. If he can keep getting those kind of shots, obviously your percentage will go up. You can't get much closer to the basket than that.
Now here's Bryant backing in, back outside to Horry for 3. Nothing but net for Robert Horry. Just a couple of years ago, they had to urge him on to shoot from the outside. He was too bashful to do it, and Rudy T just kept saying, shoot, 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 and he became a tremendous shooter.
Well, part of the thing that made it difficult for him, he was center in college. So all coaches all his life been telling him, don't shoot from there. He's 6'10". That's what you forget about it. And so they told him don't shoot, and then finally he started making them.
Here's a fast break. Drexler to Bryant. And it is ripped down by James Crawford, the 35-year-old veteran. Down to Grace. Grace to Trahair. No! And Australia cannot get on the board.
That's nervousness there, because that's just a layup. You just got to make that one.
And Drexler lets it fly.
Yeah, that's just very nervous, because you get that close to the basket, you got to find a way to get it in or get fouled.
Clyde Drexler, who makes the Rockets fast break one of the best in the NBA, makes it 9-0 Houston. Deflected by Smith. No basket.
Blahoff will make you foul him. That's on Mark Bryant.
Bryant's second.
Blahoff has played. He played at Stanford. He knows how to play. He set a pick and then got in front of Mark Bryant and just held position. And if he has to, he'll clasp your arms for a second.
Blahoff played with Adam Keefe and Todd Lichty, two players in the NBA. And finally, they get on the board, courtesy of Andrew Vlahov. The first field goal, it's a 3 for Perth. Here's Ori for 3.
We may see a record number of threes here.
Fisher unable to connect. Ripped down by Mark Bryant. Down to Kenny Smith. Look at this ball movement. Off the break. Brown. Back tap. Here comes Grace. One man back, Bryant. Grace for 3. And it's chased down by Bryant. 12-3 Rockets. Here comes Kenny Smith, the New York product. Little stutter step over Grace for 3. Long rebound. It is a 3-point extravaganza.
For Rudy, this is a tough game for Rudy Tomjanovich, and I'll tell you why. Players get in games like this where they just think it's going to be a victory, and then they come down taking shots that they don't normally take during the regular season, and that's one of the things that Rudy has to fight against as he coaches his team here.
Away from the ball, an offensive foul on Andrew Vlahov. And it goes back to the two-time defending NBA champion Houston Rockets.
When we shook hands with Andrew Vlahov, he's got a grip. So he doesn't mind using it a little bit. He's a pretty strong, well-put-together young man. Lob.
Here's Drexler back outside to Smith for 3. And rebounded by Vlahov. Here's Traher, the pull-up. Wildcats 1 for 10 from the floor out of the gate.
1 for 10, and about 4 of those 10 have been three-pointers.
Off-balance shot by Drexler, and we just go end-to-end in frenetic fashion. Here's Ricky Grace, who slows it down. Here's something new.
The problem is that there's only 3 points by Perth. They got to find a way to get themselves going to the basket. Need to get to the foul line. Ricky Grace is the guy that can do that. He's got good enough quickness.
Shot clock down to 4. Fisher. Back it comes to Drexler, leading the break on the wing to Smith. Back to Drexler. Fakes a pass to Brown and holds on. Smith fakes left, goes right, moves it on Grace, and it counts. He's fouled. So quick.
Yeah, he's got extreme quickness. He really shot the ball well, and particularly when they played Orlando and they needed some shots down the stretch. The first game in Orlando was Kenny Smith, who knocked down the 3 points.
Here's another look as we step out. Come on back.
Mum's never late. What about breakfast?
Well, we'll get something on the way.
What about school, Dad?
Super Sheep Pajero. Now with over 40% more power to put you in front, out back.
The Wildcats have won their third championship in the NBL.
Hey Ricky, what you gonna do now you've won the NBL championship?
We won the championship now. Everybody needs to come celebrate it. Wiggles and giggles.
It's the new Masha. She's groovier than ever. A real lethal weapon.
It's me, Alan.
And she needs to be stopped.
Do we have to be interrupted by that childish toy?
The Brady Bunch erupts, 6 o'clock weeknights.
The Wildcats 1 for 11 from the floor. And that is not good news to Dr. Hurley.
That's not good news to anybody if you're shooting 9%. But again, I think you got to worry about whether or not the Wildcats can calm down a little bit, get their shots, and just take them.
Here's a substitution. Martin Catalini, just 22 years of age, wearing number 9.
So part of the problem you have to deal with, you're a young team.
Here's Fisher. 2 on the shot clock. Had to force it up. You can't talk. Chucky Brown gets it over to Clyde Drexler. Robert Ory.
Hello.
And Ricky Grace now will bring it back down.
Oh, Robert
15 to 3.
Sorry, Robert Ory went down. The one thing you don't ever want to see happen in one of these games, but he got up. Because you don't want to have a guy down on the floor like that. You see he's slowly coming.
16 on the shot clock. Here's Grace for 3. The Wildcats now 1 for 5 from three-point range, 1 for 13 overall from the floor.
At this point, you just play basketball if you're the Perth Wildcats. Eventually, a shot will fall. You just keep going to the basket.
Oh, nice pass by Chilcutt to Chucky Brown. That was pretty.
You know, this is where you see the height advantage work on the part of the Houston Rockets, because you normally feel Chilcutt is not going to be somebody that you'll double team, and because Perth had to double team him, that's why it allowed that easy basket.
Vlahov, and he is clobbered by Chucky Brown. 5:37 left in the first. 17 to 3. Rockets by 14.
I think they gave it to
Ory.
To Ory.
Meanwhile, Chucky Brown comes out of the game. And coming into the game is Mario Elie. Elie got one of the biggest ovations when he was introduced because the fans remember him here. He played many years overseas in Europe. Played in Portugal. Well, he just took the tour all over the place. Played in just about every league conceivable before making it to the big time.
Yeah, but I think that's a credit to his stick-to-itness because there's some people that would have decided not to continue to try to make it in the NBA. At Mario Elie played wherever he could play until he could, develop his skills. I know he played for Don Nelson at Golden State and finally got a shot, and then he's been here, and he's been an integral part of this championship team.
Has he? He was the hero of Game 7 at Phoenix, hit the winning 3 in the final seconds, had a huge 9 for 11 shooting game in the clinching game of the Orlando title series. 17 to 4 Rockets, coming up to 5 minutes remaining in the first. 8 on the shot clock. Here's Vlahov.
See, I tell you what, Andrew Vlahov is pretty hard to defend because if you give him anything, he's going to try to take it. He's big and he's strong. Robert Ory has been guarding him, and he gives him the left side. And Robert Ory is beat, but Vlahov is too strong for Robert Ory. Even though Horry is 6'10", Vlahov is just too big and strong, so Ory just picked up his second foul.
The 95 postseason was Robert Ory's coming out party as Vlahov hits the first. Olajuwon took home the Finals MVP award, but as mentioned, no one would have argued had Ory won it. Now Ory going to the bench, and veteran Charles Jones checks into the ball game. Jones has been around forever. He's 38 years old, one of 4 brothers who made it to the show. Albany State in Georgia. There he is. He's known for his defense and shot blocking.
Yeah, he's the guy that normally backs up Hakeem Olajuwon, or they actually can bring him up anywhere in the either 4 or 5 power forward or center position. And he's a defensive specialist, doesn't ask anything. If you get any points out of him, that's a major plus.
Knows his limitations on the floor. So Elie out there with Smith, Jones, Chilcutt, and Drexler. Here's Chilcutt. Look what I found. Back comes Perth down 13. Ricky Grace with the stutter step gets inside and draws the foul. Nice penetration move by Ricky Grace.
That's the other thing he can do. You get a chance to push the ball up, you got to try to figure out if you can do it. He'll jump in a little bit, there's no doubt. See, he jumped in, and they called a foul. They had a choice between looking at whether or not Smith was going to get it or Charles Jones. As you can see, Sam Cassell comes in, young man from Florida State University. This guy likes big games. Every time the game have been on the line since they've been into the playoffs, Sam Cassell has made plays.
A pleasant surprise, very much a clutch ball player. The second-year point guard averaged just 23 minutes last year as Kenny Smith's backup. But you wonder if a starting job and a breakthrough season are in store for Sam Cassell.
They probably are in store, but if I'm Rudy, I think I would try to keep it that way as long as you can, because the difference is you get much more explosiveness on the part of Sam Cassell when he comes off the bench.
Well, Kenny Smith, of course, the three-point specialist, but they have so many outside shooters that they could play Sam Cassell at the point with no problem. Here is Cassell with Ellie running. Ellie's got it at the baseline. Ellie puts it up and in.
Just see the talent, how quickly the NBA team can get down, the Rockets can get down in position, and Ellie just goes over the top. No shot blockers, you can get that.
Ellie is smart, unselfish, and fearless. 21-7, Houston. Chilcutt outlets to Ellie. Ellie, the trailer, Cassell. Cassell takes a look over his shoulder, decides to hold it up. Drexler's lurking at the baseline. Look at this ball movement.
If they're that unselfish, they'll be hard to beat.
And it's chased down by Martin Catalini at 6'8", one of the Wildcats' young players. Now here's Grace to bring it down. Grace, who's a tremendous fan of Julius Erving, Dr. J, and Julius is in the crowd, so this has got to be a great thrill for Grace to play in front of his idol.
Oh, that was a tough move there.
Yeah, by Crawford, and then the fall away by Blahov. Now here comes Chilcutt, hands it off to Cassell, running the attack to Ellie, the trailer Cassell. Cassell stops and pops.
Yeah, any way they want to do it, they're going to be able to do that. Just the height is just not in, obviously that doesn't favor Perth. They just can't, and if you can't get a shot to go down, that's the tough part. They're still shooting. Matter of fact, the percentage has gone down at 42 to, I believe it's just 6%. 1 for 18.
This is one of those games, don't concern yourself so much about the score, but with the artistry of the Houston Rockets. And there is the one and only Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. First a back injury and then an elbow injury forcing him out of action, and he really is chomping at the bit to get in there. He hopes he'll be ready for the November 3rd regular season opener.
I think he may be ready for that. I talked to him a little bit the other day, and I mean, what a pleasant man to talk to. Just refreshing to talk to someone of his caliber. But his elbows had swelled up after they worked out of it early this week. He practiced on Wednesday. There was some swelling, a little bit less. He practiced again yesterday. Didn't do anything with the team, but they think there's a pretty good chance that he'll probably play. I mean, they don't know for sure about tomorrow, because one thing they're worried about with Hakeem, he's subject to come back before he's healthy, because he likes to play that much. So there's no guarantee that he won't play tomorrow. But if he dresses, I would say there's a good chance he would be playing.
Arguably the best player in the game right now. MVP 2 years ago, turns 33 in January. Hakeem Olajuwon. Under 2 minutes to go in the first. 23-8.
Oh, my
nice
goodness,
play
what a good play.
By Blahov.
This kid has got some skills.
That was impressive. He's been with the Wildcats since 1991. He won 2 league championships on the Australian national team. Also played in 88 and 92 Olympics. Been in the World Championships. He's 26 years of age. Check out that play by Blahov. Pretty. Crawford missing the first free throw. Back live. This is J.C. Alabama Slammer out of Peachtree, Alabama. How about that for
the
him?
Alabama Slammer.
Played in a couple of small college teams in the United States, in Alabama and Kentucky. Here's Sam Cassell.
What I like is the Rockets come down, the fans start cheering just because they think they're going to see something exciting.
In anticipation. Here's Tim Bro. They're high on Bro, number 15, let fly for 3.
They find Bro in a rec league. He was playing in a rec league. They asked him as Chilcutt banks a three-pointer.
Did he call it?
No, I don't know. I don't think he called that one. That was one that got out of his hand. You scream bank in the air.
That's from the old horse game, H-O-R-S-E. You got to call it. Here's Ricky Gray straight away for three. Line drive, no roll. And, yep, last touch by Bro. But you were talking about Tim Bro from a rec league. That's quite a story. Second year out of Wyoming, former star in the CBA.
Yeah, he started in the CBA, but a lot of the players from Houston were just playing, and they said, hey, you need to give this guy a look and get him in the camp. They got him in camp, and he was on the team last year, and he's a pretty explosive scorer, so they're going to try to break him in. And on a team like Houston, you know, we talked about some of the young players. They can afford to do that.
He has strong one-on-one skills as Fisher delivers. Scott Fisher, born in San Jose, California, played his college hoops at the University of California, Santa Barbara. 26-10, the Wildcats finally hit double figures. Here's Ellie with the runner. Oop, right off Bro's head. And the push from behind. And it looks to be on Crawford. Veteran James Crawford has won 3 league championships with the Canberra Cannons and the Geelong Supercats. Where do we come up with this? But it's fun.
He picked up his second foul, but a good effort from Tim Bro.
35 seconds to go in the quarter.
I don't know where you come up with it. Going into a zone, and one thing the NBA team has only probably seen in practice here of late, because it's not allowed in the NBA.
Ellie for three.
See, that'll bring you out of a zone. It's a wise choice to try to figure out if you can play it for a while, but when you got Ellie out there, you got Sam Cassell, you got some people that make three-pointers, and Bro can make it as well.
Ellie doesn't have the height of most small forwards, but he's so muscular, he can just drive with authority, or he can pop the outside set shot. So versatile. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Here's Fisher, back deep corner for Grace. Got it.
No, you better get back, because they got a chance, because they got lucky.
That's a three-pointer for Grace, and there's your buzzer.
There were 3 people back. That could have been a very easy fast break for the Houston Rockets, who lead 29-13.
The Wildcats shooting an anemic 3 for 21, 14% from the floor. And the Rockets, biggest lead 19. They now lead 29-13 at the end of 1 quarter of play in the semifinal action of the McDonald's Championship. Stay tuned.
Man, that's Grant Hill. Grant Hill drinks Sprite? Grant Hill drinks Sprite.
If you want to make it to the NBA, practice. If you want a refreshing drink, obey your thirst. Sprite.
This is an original McDonald's 30-cent soft-serve cone. The original Great Value cone. And right now, with a free Cadbury's Freddo Frog, it's even better value.
It's my time.
Too much alcohol, too often, can kill you.
This is Le Deli, and this is Le Snacks Le Deli.
Swiss style for you. A bit of Edam, there you go. And some tasty.
A range of delicious Le Deli cheeses and tasty and crisp breads in a precise Le Serve for one. Le Snack Le Deli cheese range. You know it's good because it's made by Uncle McCarthy's.
Hi, Ryan Turnbull here for West Coast Living. Winning and being the best takes dedication and commitment. West Coast Living offers all of this and more. A 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom total home package. With $18,500 worth of extras for no extra. Carpets, verticals, landscaping and a house full of furniture. Then relax in your sensational gazebo and barbecue area. Get started on only $1,000. This is a limited offer. Call West Coast Living 2611 777.
This is the rhythm of the night.
Okay, let's get loose with the rhythm on Club 95. The Dance Queens. Here's the real McCoy. 18 hot dance cuts from the girls. There's M People, Culture Beat. Here's Crystal Waters. Cut and Move, Melody MC, Jam and Spoon. Eternal, Shanae, Salt and Pepper.
Makes me wanna shoot.
And Nikki French. 18 hot dance cuts. Club 95, The Dance Queens. Out now from Startel.
Welcome to the mysterious world of water, mud, marsh and sand. Home to some of the most extraordinary creatures on the planet. 7:30 tonight, take a journey through the slime in Lifestyles of the Wet and Muddy.
Welcome back to the London Arena. 1 quarter complete. It's the Houston Rockets 29, the Perth Wildcats 13 as we continue the 1995 McDonald's Championship. Here's a look at the bracket. It all got underway yesterday with Buckler de Bologna defeating Maccabi Tel Aviv, then Sheffield falling to Real Madrid. Perth and Houston drew byes, and earlier tonight in Game 1, Bologna beat Madrid 102-96. So it will be Buckler-Bologna in the championship game tomorrow night against the winner of this game, 29-13. Houston underway in the second. Here's Tim Bro. Ball deflected by Grace. And Grace can't finish, but he's fouled by Bro.
Good effort on the part of Ricky Grace to deflect the ball, find the man, get it up to him, and then get himself back in position to make a play.
And going to the free throw line will be Ricky Grace. Grace 1 for 2 thus far.
That's what you have to generate. When you can't score from the field, you got to try to find a way to get to the foul line. I mean, you want to give everybody a chance, you know, in any kind of game. This is one where height alone puts Perth at a significant disadvantage. But the way you can do things is the things you can control, you have to. You can't turn it over. You get wide open shots, you need to knock those down. And if you play good defense, you give yourself a chance. They've rebounded well. They just haven't shot it well.
And the Dallas, Texas native makes it 29-15. Ricky Grace.
1-2-2 zone. Try to force the jump shot.
Mark Bryant trying to get the step on Fisher. It rolls right over to Brown. Brown unable to convert. Rebounded by Crawford. Here comes Grace down the chute. Traher wings it into the corner to Fisher. All of a sudden, the Perth Wildcats looking a little more in sync.
Yeah, they are. The ball, that was much better ball movement. People were in better position to be able to do something when they got it. Just missed that shot.
Sam Cassell over to Chucky Brown. Back to Cassell. He'll let fly for 3. Sam Cassell, not known for his perimeter shooting, but he'll take it. 32-15.
Yeah, Sam is a streaky shooter. He's not a guy that you want shooting a lot of jump shots, but he's a very confident player, and if he gets going, he can get streaky and still make some shots.
More of a penetrator.
Tim Bro can't guard him by himself. He missed a shot. Tim Bro can't guard this kid by himself.
Talking about
strong.
Andrew Vlahov. He is.
Vlahov is too strong.
Tim Bro picks up his second foul. And it will put Vlahov on the line. Spelled V-L-A-H-O-V, 6'7", 227.
And I like him. I mean, you can see how well developed he is, but he's not afraid to play. I mean, I believe he'll play every game you go out and play with Andrew Vlahov. He'll play it just like this. He'll go out and he'll try to beat you doing the little things. I mean, the pass he makes was a heck of a pass that he barely got his hand on the control. But he'll do that. He'll make some shots. He'll get you some tough rebounds.
Here's Cassell for 3. Rebounded by Fisher. Out it goes to Grace. 32-17 Rockets. Grace guarded by Cassell. Backs up. Gets a pick by Crawford. James Crawford, 6'8". He'll go over Bryant.
Yeah, he's got to look at that one. You got to look at it. He's standing you're on the top of the key. If he's standing at the foul line, you got to at least look at the basket.
Crawford able to stick it, and 32-19, making things interesting. Bro, long rebound, chased down to the corner. Bro, great hustle, but he puts it right in the hands of Crawford.
Right idea. Throw it at your basket and see can you jump somebody, one of your team. That's a basket. I mean, it's hard to stop it. I thought he'd get a basket because I thought he'd turn in to get it, but he turned the other way.
Sam Cassell commits the foul on the turnaround jumper by Vlahov. Ori's back into the game. And he replaces Tim Bro.
It gave Bro a shot at this thing. And when I say that, when you're a young player, you get an opportunity like this, I don't care who you're playing against, you got to make sure you do the little things. If you got to dive on the floor for loose ball, and the play he made in trying to save the ball is the kinds of plays that you have to be able to make. Don't worry about making shots. That'll come, because he's as nervous with this opportunity, Tim Bro is, because it's only his second year, as the Perth Wildcats are about playing against Houston.
9:50 remaining in the second, 32-21. Rockets. Brown out of bounds off Crawford. It will be Houston ball. The Wildcats shooting 17%, 4 for 23. And given that information, this score is amazing. They're down 32-21.
Yeah, because they've made some foul shots. They've been able to rebound the ball, one, and giving themselves enough opportunities that even at that field goal percentage, they still made some shots.
Mark Bryant. He is fouled. Bryant could have a lot of life left in him. He didn't play much at Portland, kind of fell out of favor with the head coach there, P.J. Carlesimo, who ironically was also his college coach at Seton Hall University in New Jersey. And he should be seeing more minutes, obviously, with Olajuwon out. Averaged just 3.5 rebounds in 7 NBA seasons.
You know, and that's interesting, as you point out, that he played for P.J. Carlesimo in college and then fell out of favor in the pros. It also, I think what it says is how guys change, they mature, they're different, and the way you handle the guy in college is not the same way you can handle him in the pros. And I think that's what happened with Mark Bryant. I don't think there's anything that says that in the future that they won't be friends. It's just that's the way that goes.
Right. 7 years with the Portland Trailblazers. Now his first year with the Houston Rockets. 33-21 Rockets. Vlahov backs in on Ori, then the turnaround. Pretty. Everything but the basket. Battle for the loose ball. Very scrappy Perth Wildcats all over the floor, and that's veteran James Crawford right in the center of things.
And Andrew Vlahov.
Yep.
I mean, he came from the top of the key. I mean, top of the from the half-court line to come jump in there. Matter of fact, I thought it was going to start to be a scrum like they have in rugby, because I think that's what he plays. I mean, watch the ball, and then out of the left, all of a sudden, you see Vlahov come in the middle of this. There he comes. He's coming in. He's going to get a piece of the action. So Grace is on the floor, and it looks like Sam Cassell as well.
He's got Sam in a headlock there. He looks like a rugby player, Vlahov. There's James Crawford, 6'8", 214, not afraid to put his body on the wood. Stewart into the game, number 23, Anthony Stewart, 25 years old. There he goes, baseline drive. That one is whacked away.
Better watch it.
Cassell off the spin. He's fouled by Traher.
Well, it is not said you better watch it. I mean, you can, the Houston Rockets, there was nobody in the play until the ball came free, and then there were 4 people in it. Now you got all the way on your left Mario Ali, there's Ori, and here comes Drexler. I mean, and before that, there was nobody there. It looked like Sam Cassell was going to be by himself.
Exactly 9 minutes left in the first half here in London. Semi-final round action in the McDonald's Championship. Houston in the white, Perth in the black, and Perth makes the steal, courtesy of Andrew Vlahov. Shovels it off to Stewart. Goes glass, too hard, too strong. Picked back up by Fisher.
Now that's what you got to do. You got to start hustling. Fisher takes the shot, had the right idea, but it got tapped a little bit by Ori. But that's the way you got to play. Keep getting loose balls.
The San Jose, California product, Scott Fisher. Ellie goes baseline. Oh. And what a follow by Robert Ori.
Great follow. Ellie takes a difficult shot and misses it, but Ori with his long arms is able to catch it and put it back.
He's got the wingspan of a 7-footer. 35-23, 12-point lead Rockets. Stewart looking for Crawford, too well covered by Bryant.
Bryant's better in this position than Crawford is.
And a push-off by Bryant. The officials working tonight from Lithuania, Romaldo Brzezowskis, and from France, Pascal Dorizon.
Bryant just picked up his 3rd foul down there. So they're going to have to make a decision. And they're coming in with Chucky Brown. I don't think this boded well for Bryant. He's in here playing in the game that, that obviously Houston has a good shot to win. And for Bryant not to be ready to play in a game like this is not something that I'm sure that the Houston Rocket coaching staff will be at all pleased with.
Meanwhile, Dr. Hurley inserting Matthew Earp into the ball game. 35-25 now in favor of the Rockets. Only a 10-point game. The Rockets' biggest lead was 19. And Ellie plus the foul. Strong move by Mario Ellie, who comes up hobbling just a bit. Vlahov, with a disgruntled look on his face, commits the foul.
Well, Vlahov that time got his third foul. Was one of his problems, but also he's playing with a guy as strong as he is. Mario Ellie is very strong.
6'5", 210, his sixth season from American International. And he completes the three-point play. He plays tough offense, tough defense. He's a good finisher on the break. He didn't reach the NBA, Ellie, until he was 27 years old. Vlahov with the Rockets up 13. Here's Scott Fisher with Ori. Sends it back out to Earp.
Shot clock down to 5.
Vlahov, Fisher, shot clock expired. Got to have that shot clock recognition.
But he was, he ran by his coaches and he said it to him. Somebody tell me. Remind me of it. If he forgets about it, the whole team should be telling him that the shot clock is running down.
And he's got a good point. Vlahov now back to the bench. It is 38-25. The Rockets by 13. And it will be Houston ball. Guess what they're doing here in the London Arena, Quinn? They're bringing back the wave.
Oh, okay. I got to guess. I can't look.
Here they go, all around the stadium. Cassell for three.
Ooh. He's obviously worked on that shot this summer.
Yes, indeed, because that is not a staple of his game. It may soon be, though. Timeout for the Wildcats, 7:07 remaining. In the second, Quinn and I will do the wave. It's 41-25, Rockets.
Coming through the chicane, just look at that superb handling. Mitsubishi into the pits now. Great choice of wheel covers, they really are. They're adding rear mud flaps, on-go body colour side mouldings. They're not stopping here, there are the body colour bumpers. Weather shields now, that looks like air conditioning going in there. Headlamp protectors, bonnet protector. Over $2,000 worth of free extras on sedan and wagon. There it goes, the 1995 limited edition Magna Challenge. You'll need to be fast to catch this one. This is Le Deli, and this is Le Snacks Le Deli.
Swiss style for you. A bit of Edam. There you go. And some tasty.
A range of delicious Le Deli cheeses and tasty crisp breads in a precise Le Serve for one. Le Snack Le Deli cheese range. You know it's good because it's made by Uncle Toby's.
What a game, what a season. The Wildcats, 1995 NBL champions and Western Australia's only premiership team. Wildcats 1996 season tickets will be available from Monday, October 23rd at Red Tickets. And to say thanks for your support, when you purchase your season ticket, we'll refund 50% of the purchase price of your grand final Game 3 ticket. Hurry, this championship offer ends November 30th. Contact Red Tickets now on 484-1222.
Won their third championship in the NBL.
Hey Ricky, what you gonna do now you've won the NBL championship?
We won the championship now. Everybody needs to come celebrate it. Wiggles and giggles.
This summer, style comes in your size at King Size Menswear. From business wear to casual weekend wear, King Size Menswear has the largest range, all from leading designers. King Size Menswear, Perth and Inglewood.
Converse, you piece of shoe.
When they were sprung, it was bad enough.
Exactly what went on in the supplies cupboard.
But someone's been spreading rumours.
You read what they're saying about me, they're disgusting pigs.
And the culprit is the last person Hannah would expect.
I'm sorry, Hannah.
Love Thy Neighbour, weeknights on 10.
A 16-point lead for the Houston Rockets with 7:07 remaining in the first half. Sam Cassell with 2 3-pointers in the first half here. The steal for the Houston Rockets in the 93 draft at pick number 24.
Well, he's a guy that is starting to shoot that shot with a great deal more confidence, and he's going to have to if he's going to take the place eventually of Kenny Smith, if that's indeed it was supposed to happen there. That's a very good call by the official right there on Fisher. Robert Ory's long arms got out there, deflected the ball, and in Fisher's effort to get it back, he fouled.
Sam Cassell, who broke in unexpectedly. 3 for 4 from the field thus far here tonight, including a pair of threes. And Chucky Brown is fouled on the play. James Crawford had the wraps on him.
Houston's system has done pretty well. They pick up Robert Ory late. Nobody thought that he was going to be quite the player that he's become. And I don't think many people thought Sam Cassell would be the kind of player he has become. So they've been able to do pretty well in their drafting and picking up free agents like Chucky Brown, Rudy Tomjanovich, and that staff. I mean, I really think they've done a marvelous job the way they put the organization together.
Now here's the quick release by Rekasner, who just checked in. Eldridge Rekasner, 6'3" guard out of the University of Washington. Spent the last 3 years in the Continental Basketball Association back in the United States. Stewart into the ball game. And this is Cassell with the ball. His team up 16, 6:40 to go in the half. Fakes the three. And takes the three.
Sam's working on his game now.
I'll say. Oh, what a play by Drexler with those long arms. He just poked it free of grace, but out of bounds.
Yeah, he did a good thing for himself because he saved it, because if he doesn't, he's in trouble.
Ricky Grace. This is Scott Fisher. 8 on the shot clock.
Now, you can't pass it anymore. If you're the guard, you can't pass it anymore.
Grace, with his team just standing around looking to make something happen, so he drove.
Yeah, when it starts as the point guard out there with a 24-second clock, when it moves right around anywhere in 6, you got to keep the ball and make a play, and that's what he does. He goes to the basket and reach in on, there's no doubt Sam Cassell reaches in, and Sam Cassell goes out and gets a round of applause as he goes 3-4 and has 8 points.
Had a pair of threes as well. Kenny Smith is back on. So Ricky Grace, who appears to be diminutive in size, almost fragile looking, but he likes to get in there with the big guys. He will drive.
Yeah, he's not afraid to go in and fight it out in there.
And Dr. Adrian Hurley, the head coach of the Perth Wildcats, has to love his style of play.
Well, he may love his style of play, but it's a helpless feeling to be in this position as a coach. When there's nothing you can say that can help your team get through this one. Your team has got to figure out how hard they got to play and the plays they got to make. When you got a 6'10" guy standing out here shooting 3-pointers.
Robert Ory.
It's just not something you can practice against because you don't have anybody that big to work on it in practice.
He's hit all 3 of his 3-point attempts, too. And yes, Kenny Smith with reason to smile. It's 44-26 Rockets, 5:40 on the clock in the second. Robert Ory putting on a display. He recovered from a bad back, which plagued him in the second half of the regular season, to have a spectacular playoffs.
You know, most NBA basketball players at some point have back problems. I mean, maybe not severe enough to keep them out of the game, but most of them do, because part of it is your travel. The travel and sleeping in different beds, the strain of just going through 82 games and that whole thing. And I mean, I don't know. I've never talked to an NBA basketball player who hadn't had back problems somewhere in his career.
And I'll take it one step further. That goes for announcers, too.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Same beds, same travel.
Not same level of effort on the court. Nice try.
Just a little different. Earp. Here's Clyde Drexler. Back to Rekasner. Ory. Oh, they just cannot stay with the super quick Rockets.
This good foul.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing they've got to do.
44-27.
That's the kind of thing that gives you a chance. If you can find people under the basket, some steals, get out and run, because you're just not tall enough to play this team. There you go, another steal. Now you got to take advantage of it.
Earp makes the steal. Here's Grace.
He traveled.
Yeah, he did.
The problem is that he's not as nearly as strong going to his right as he is going to his left. And he got anticipated. You see right here, and it's just a zing pass. Robert Horry is trying to find his man, and Fisher wisely moves, goes on the other side of the basket. Congratulates Ricky Grace for making a good pass.
That may have been the pass of the game.
Oh, it is definitely the pass of the game.
15-point Rockets lead. Here's Smith, nowhere to go inside. Grace covers him. Shot clock down to 8. Drexler with 4. And Scott Fisher's long outlet to Vlahov. And he waits for help.
If they're going to let him back down, he'll get the basket.
And Vlahov challenging Kenny Smith for the foul.
Yeah, if they're going to let him back Kenny Smith down. And I looked at, and when I said that, because I saw two people that could help, and Clyde Drexler happened to be one of them, that could help Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith can't guard Vlahov.
I'll tell you, this is a humbling experience for the Perth Wildcats, a team that is the very definition of road warriors. They lost only 4 road games this past season, traveling a minimum of 2,000 kilometers on the average. And earlier we documented how long it took them to get from Perth to London.
Well, I agree with you that they're the road warriors. I'm not sure that they're going on the road running in any kind of Houston Rockets.
That is a different story. Good play by the Wildcats.
It is. That's the scrambling kind of play you want to have. Rudy Tomjanovich looking at Eldridge Rickasner and saying to him, why would you dribble in the corner?
We are at the London Arena, semi-final round action of the 1995 McDonald's Championship. Earlier, Bologna beat Madrid to get into the championship round, and they will do battle again tomorrow night against the winner of this game. And this game being controlled without any problem by the defending NBA champion Rockets.
He has no idea how much time is on the clock. Oh, he gets it.
Look at that. Scott Fisher out of nowhere.
He beat Robert Horry to the ball. Saw it go up, and Robert Horry just defend, didn't block out.
Showing that the Rockets are human.
Well, I got to give Stewart credit. But Stewart, I didn't think he knew where the clock was, but he did. That's travel. And the reason it's traveling is you can't throw the ball to yourself. If you let it go, you can't get it before somebody else puts a hand on it.
Now, normally, Perth is a physical team, a strong interior game, even without a guy 6'10", 6'11". But, of course, much of that goes out the window against the Rockets. And Vlahov barrels in.
Oh, they get... Oh! Almost got it back. They got it to a 10-point game, but Vlahov goes over Clyde, and Rudy Tomjanovich decides he wants to talk to his team about the way they're approaching the last three. They will approach the last 3 minutes and 21 seconds of this half.
Rudy T cannot be happy. A terrific bounce-back effort here by the Perth Wildcats, who are within 10 points after trailing by 19.
This is an original McDonald's 30-cent soft-serve cone, the original Great Value cone. And right now, with a free Cadbury's Freddo Frog, it's even better value.
It's my time. This is Le Deli, and this is Le Snacks Le Deli.
Swiss style for you. A bit of Vita. There you go. And some taster.
A range of delicious Le Deli cheeses and tasty crisp breads in a precise Le Serve for one. Le Snack Le Deli cheese range. You know it's good because it's made by Uncle Lecote's.
Here's a way of reducing watering, transplanting shock and sunburn by protecting seedlings, shrubs and lawns with Yates Stress Guard. Applied to the foliage, Stress Guard forms a protective sunscreen that helps reduce water loss by as much as 50%. When you visit your local Waldeck Garden Centre, it's great to know it's Western Australian owned and operated. Waldeck's know WA gardens best, so where would you go for local know-how and WA grown plants? Where else but Waldeck's?
We're doing it now. Let's go. Come on. On your right.
With more carbos, it's Powerade.
Coming through now. Let's go. Shoes, yeah! Yeah, shoes, baby!
Schwarzenegger.
I have my orders.
Belushi.
We trust our partners.
They're not looking for justice. You killed my brother. They're out for revenge.
This whole thing's very Russian. They killed this.
Red Heat, 8:30 Sunday.
An 8-0 run by the Perth Wildcats to get back into this game after being down by 19. And there it is.
Well, what they did was a better job of finding people in the open court. Ricky Grace gets out, makes a pass here to Scott Fisher. Nice reverse layup. But that's what you got to do. Get some penetration. Again, shot goes up. Who is it? Scott Fisher, great anticipation. I'm sure that's what you want to see your team do. Get out and create some opportunities for yourself.
Here's Kenny Smith into Robert Ory. Around it goes to Drexler. Shot clock down to 5. Smith with the bomb. Drexler chases it down in front of his bench. Here's Ory for 3. That's his first mission, 4 3-point attempts. Coming out of the pack is Stewart. They could get into single digits here as far as the deficit, but he lost the ball.
All of a sudden, he took his eye off. He just kind of lost concentration to Stewart, and he ended up just losing it out of bounds. But it was a chance to get it down to within 8. Rudy Tomjanovich saw that, decided to get some fresh bodies on there, take Chucky Brown out, get an Eldridge Kastner out of there, just because that's inexperience.
And Sam Cassell is back. Cassell and Smith in the backcourt with Ellie, Ory, and Drexler up front. Mario Ellie back outside to Smith, penetrates, dishes. Cassell, great fake on Grace. Can't stick it though.
Lahov just picked up his 4th foul, trying to keep Robert Ory off the glass.
Lahov, who has been a key for the Wildcats, that is very bad news for Dr. Adrian Hurley. He has 13 points, and
they got to take him out. There's no way you can risk it now.
Yep.
I mean, it was a risk to have him in there with 3. And I think they knew that, but you can't leave him on the floor.
Martin Catalini will replace the foul-plagued Lahov. Catalini, 6'8". And going to the free throw line is Robert Ory. 6'10", 220 in his 4th year out of Alabama.
Well, what they'll miss is they'll miss the energy, the run, the up and down, the coming up with loose balls, the tough rebounds that Lahov will get.
So Robert Ory, who did a fabulous job on the likes of Charles Barkley and Dennis Rodman and Horace Grant in the playoffs, using his quickness to offset muscle. And as you could see here tonight, he knows how to drill the 3 as well. So versatile.
Uses quickness. He uses that 7 feet arm span that you were talking about. He's got long arms, can play off you and still get up close to your shot to challenge it.
And here's a guy who, as we mentioned, had to be urged to shoot by Rudy Tomjanovich. He used to be very reluctant. Good pass by Grace. Crawford, the follow, the putback.
If you let Grace go to his left, he's very effective. You got to force him to his right, and that's what he was able to do. Once he got left, he was able to get to Crawford and finally put it back in.
Wildcats hanging around within 10 after trailing 19. Ellie to Cassell for 3. Almost over the backboard, it stays in play. Good race. The lead is Crawford. Crawford dunks, and it's within 8. What a run by the Perth Wildcats. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I do. I love the fact that they've been able to stay in, but they've been able to do it because they've rebounded the ball. I mean, the rebounding, they lead 25 to 24.
Is shooting 31% from the field. The Rockets just 37%. Ellie on the drive, kicks it out to Smith. Thought about a 3, penetrates, back to Ory, down low to Drexler. The quickness by the Rockets, but the shot clock expiring.
He missed it. They get the ball.
And Rudy Tomjanovich not pleased. He looks down the bench for help. He looks at Carroll Dawson and Bill Berry, Larry Smith for some guidance down there, his assistant coaches.
The tough part for Rudy is he's got to find a way to keep this guy's attention span in the game. When you get a lead and you're up like 23 to 7, I don't care who it is. Perth got off to that bad start. It's hard for a coach to keep his team's attention span.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, what a shot by Crawford, leading away. Tough angle. 35-year-old veteran James Crawford, who's living a dream in this game. It's a 6-point game. 46 to 40. As Sam Cassell goes to the floor.
Sam Cassell falls harder than anybody I've seen in the last 5 years. I mean, he falls hard. He's always laying out as though no chance for him to get up.
The foul on Martin Catalini. The great Jackie Robinson used to be like that. Baseball player. He used to seem like he was really hurt and injured. He'd get up slowly, brush himself off, and then steal second.
I'll date myself. The great Jim Brown, the football player, used to do that. It's the exact same thing. You'd run and you'd beat him. He'd hit 3 or 4 times. He'd lay down like he couldn't get up. And next thing you know, he's got a 40-yard touchdown.
He'll psych you out, and then he'll kill you. All right, here's Fisher. Gets it off to Grace. Crawford, who's been hot. Crawford feeling it. He's got the confidence now. Oh, what a push.
Fisher didn't exactly, didn't do that the way I think he would like to.
No. Fisher just shoving Ori out of the way.
Perth has been able to get aggressive, and when you do that, you get some easy opportunities. Right here, Ricky Grace makes a good pass as James Crawford sneaks out. Show you why he's the Alabama Slammer.
Out of Peachtree, Alabama.
And then again, feeling good. The shot clock is running down. Standing right there in rhythm, knocks down another 2-pointer to put his team within 6. They're now down 8. And Robert Horry just made it 9.
Robert Horry, a 76% foul shooter during the regular 82-game NBA season last year. Makes 1 out of 2. 40 seconds left in the first half. It is a 9-point game.
You got it in single digits. All you want to do is make a smart play here.
Nice catch and shot by Catalini. Martin Catalini makes it a 7-point game. This is the closest they have been in a long time since the tip. 49-42 Rockets. They were down 19 points, and the Rockets holding for the last shot.
Well, either the tip or 46-40, whichever comes after.
Man. Here's Cassell with a lead.
Can you get a shot off is the question.
Grace, get in there. Close. And let's hear it for the Perth Wildcats. Coming back from 19 down, and with their star players on the bench in foul trouble. Blaha. You got to give them a lot of credit. And I think it pretty much comes down to what you were saying, though, Quinn. The Rockets losing interest, and they've got to get their heads back into the game, and they'll look to blow Perth out. At the half, 51-42, Houston Rockets.
50% of people who play sport have feet that are flat, like this. 30% are normal, and 20% have high arches. Responsible shoe companies like Reebok understand this, and they make models to suit all three. The right one will protect you best from shock and injury. Just one problem: which Reebok belongs on which foot? Nobody knows the athlete's foot like the athlete's foot.
There will always be stretches on our roads that are potential killers. To save lives, we could do this. However, it's more practical to do this. Double lines. Last year, too many paid the ultimate penalty because someone crossed the lines, didn't keep left. Think of these signs when you see these lines.
By law, all new vehicles since 1986 must have a catalytic converter, this metal box between the engine outlet and main exhaust system. Catalytic converter failure can result in poor performance, which tune-ups can't fix, and failure is common in vehicles over 5 years old. How can you get a true assessment without cost? Ian Diffen's exhaust technicians have the expertise and high-tech equipment to quickly and accurately analyze your catalytic converter. It only takes a few minutes and costs nothing at Ian Diffen World of Tires and Mufflers.
What's the story? Hey kid, bought this baby on the personal advice of Mauro Baghetti, the director of the Ferrari racing team. Not that that means anything to you. Hey, this isn't a car, pal. This is art. Take care of it for me.
Excuse me, sir. May I park your car?
Fins. They're not as thick as some.
I'll never stop loving you. Whatever else I may do, my love for you will myself is through. I'll never stop wanting you.
He had a dream.
Who are you? What's your name?
Dorothy.
A dream of a magical, faraway place.
Oz. The land of Oz.
For the first time on television,
You have to believe in your dreams.
John Ritter, Anna O'Toole and Golden Girl Rue McClanahan.
She's a very wicked witch and hates everybody.
The enchanting true story
I'm not giving up on this.
of the man whose imagination captivated millions.
Dorothy lived in the midst of the great Kansas prairie.
The Dreamer of Oz, 8:30 tonight.
Welcome back to the London Arena in London, England, as the 1995 McDonald's Championship continues. Semi-final round action. Halftime winding down. The two-time defending NBA champion Houston Rockets out in front of the Australian League champion Perth Wildcats, the National Basketball League champs of Australia, 51-42, but it is quite a story in the fact that the Perth Wildcats were down by as many as 19 points. Their best player, one of their best players, Andrew Vlahov, got into foul difficulty sitting on the bench with 4. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, back came the Wildcats. The Wildcats having difficulty from the floor, but doing the job on the boards against the Rockets. And the Rockets seemingly losing some interest. And they better get their act together for the second half. You get the feeling they will as we take a look at the first half scoring. Quinn?
You can see it's led by Robert Ory, the 6'10 forward who plays mostly forward, and Sam Cassell off the bench gets 12. And then Mario Ellie gets 8 points. So they got some pretty balanced scoring. I think a little bit got flushed away from them because a little bit of interest. But Volhov has 13, Fisher with 10, Crawford with 9. You got to get those guys involved in the offense. I thought late Ricky Grace was able to do that. I thought Volhov did a good job being active and creating opportunities. You can see the shooting percentage is way down, 37 and 33. If you've been with us all evening, we saw some in the 60s earlier at halftime. But the rebounding, you go all the way down the rebounding, and you see that's one of the things that's keeping Perth in the game. They're right there in terms of rebounding. They haven't made a lot of three-point shots, but they've been there in terms of rebounding. The thing that has affected the Houston Rockets is as soon as Perth went into that zone, that's when you saw the effect take place, and that's one of the reasons their field goal percentage is not very good because, see, the NBA doesn't allow illegal defense or zone, and part of the reason is because it becomes a jump shooting game, and in Houston doesn't have an inside game to speak of. So when you send them outside and you can contest some of those shots, they really struggle.
The Rockets outscored the Wildcats 29-13 in the first quarter, and then Perth came back to outscore the defending NBA champions 29-22 in the second. So here we go. It's 51-42. Perth down 9, underway in the second half. There's Fisher, and he drills it.
Yeah, but the play was a simple play. He ball faked because he didn't saw the defender coming after him, took his time, and he was able to stick the shot.
It is a 7-point game, 51-44, and Perth comes out and scores the first basket of the second half. 19 on the shot clock as the ball went out of bounds. Here's Clyde Drexler. Drexler with Ori Brown, Bryant Smith. Smith lets fly for 3.
Let him step into his rhythm. Kenny Smith is a very good shooter. You got to play a zone, and you got to know where the shooters are on that zone. Houston shooting of almost 40% from the foul line, from the three-point line.
He's got 9, including a pair of threes. Chucky Brown battling for that loose ball. Houston by 10. Here's Kenny Smith over to Robert Ory. Ory with Trahair. Guns it in off the hop. Drexler with a super pass to Bryant.
Well, you see a lot more concentration and focus there because both of those passes take a lot of concentration. Bounce passes in the traffic.
Oh, there's a gorgeous backdoor from Fisher to Grace. And Perth showing that they know how to pass as well.
Well, I thought Fisher did a good job taking his time. I mean, at first it looked as though he had missed getting the ball to Stewart, but he finally just took his time to drop it over.
Here's Smith, quick release with 5 on the shot clock, looking for 3, tries to take up the loose ball. He does, scooped it up, gave it to Bryant. He went for the dunk, but then had to settle for the layup.
Well, it shouldn't have come down to that because it looked to me as though Perth had a chance to get the long rebound and then wasn't able to come up with it. It cost them a good opportunity.
The Rockets by 12. Here's Vlahov up high with Robert Ory. Coming around to pick is Grace. Grace with Smith. Here's James Crawford with Mark Bryant. The double clutch. No. Drexler into the front court. Oh, gorgeous bounce pass to Horry. Bodies go flying. Grace goes down. Here is Blahov. Shovels it up. One-hand style to Fisher. Shows the touch. And he looks back at the Rockets bench.
They start laughing because I'm sure one of the coaches, the players in the group will say short. And you tell him, nah, it's short at the back of the rim.
It was perfect. Bryant.
That's where they need to go with the ball. Andrew Blahov, trying to guard Bryant, has 3 fouls, and they need to go lose the ball because he can't guard him without getting the foul.
Good pace to this second half so far. 60-48, Rockets by 12. Oh, Crawford with a move. And Blahov with the basket.
This is a much better pace. But you see that Perth feels like this is a game they can compete in.
Both teams playing with a lot of spunk right now. Here's Chucky Brown. Gives it off to Drexler for 3. The Houston Rockets are now 10 for 25 from three-point range. 40%. Drexler 1 for 5. Drexler now with 5 points. Blahov, high man in the game with 15. Grace. Here's Drexler down the middle.
He sees the man.
3-on-2. Horry over to Smith. He's fouled by Fisher.
Clyde Drexler always does this. When he thinks he's got a man he wants to pass to, he puts his head down. And that's the indication, as I've watched him over the years, to know that he already sees the man, knows where he needs to get with the basketball.
Clyde Drexler in his 13th year at the age of 33. Here's Kenny Smith. Smith had 6 points at the half. Smith, 6'3", 170, his 9th year from North Carolina. His strength really is his accuracy from long distance. Always had his detracted because he doesn't penetrate much. But he fits the Houston system.
Well, you know what? He fits the system because I think Rudy Tomjanovich did a good job of fitting the system to the players. And I think that's one of the things you got to do as a coach, because Kenny Smith was a guy that before Rudy Tomjanovich got a hold of him, he had been traded from Atlanta to Sacramento. Nobody really thought that he was ever going to be a player. Rudy Tomjanovich showed some confidence and incorporated his game into what the Rockets were trying to do.
Here's Fisher driving to the baseline. Double team, still got it off. Horry gobbles it up off the shoulder. Here comes Drexler. Little head fake and shoulder fake. Gets it back to Horry. Quick pass to Smith. Smith with a no-look bounce pass to Bryant. Bryant squares up, drops it off. 3 seconds.
Yeah, when you see the ball pass that many times, that's a little unusual for the Rockets. The team is in the game.
Rudy T up again, 65-50. The Rockets operating without their star, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, out with an elbow and back injury. They hope he's ready for the November 3rd regular season opener in the NBA. Fisher makes the turn. Great pass to Blahov, who couldn't convert.
That got to him so fast that I don't think he was anticipating.
You got to also believe a team like the Perth Wildcats looking to rise to the level of their opposition, and here in the second half they seem to be as Drexler hits the long bomb.
Well, they've quickly just blown this from a 1-point to 6-point game to a 17-point lead.
Just like that. 7:20 on the clock here in the third quarter. And your score, the Houston Rockets 67, the Perth Wildcats 50. As we take a look one more time before we step away at that last shot. By Drexler.
Come on, we're late.
Mum's never late. What about fruit?
Oh, we'll get something on the way.
What about school, Dad?
He gave me flowers, but all men do that. He took me to the opera, but that's expected. No, I only knew he truly loved me when I asked him for the thing he cherished most, and he let me have it. But then, life's like that in a Lancer.
When your car sounds like a bulldozer, it doesn't mean your whole exhaust system needs to be replaced. 7 out of 10 times only the muffler is worn, so why pay for the engine pipe and tailpipe? At Ian Diffin's you don't, and save at least 40%. With these vehicle performance specification mufflers, manufactured exclusively for us, our highly trained technicians can easily and expertly fit a new muffler into your existing system while you wait, saving you time and 40%. At Ian Diffin World of Tyres and Mufflers.
This summer, style comes in your size at King Size Menswear. From business wear to casual weekend wear, King Size Menswear has the largest range, all from leading designers. King Size Menswear, Perth and Inglewood.
How do you clear a blocked nose? With a decongestant tablet? Or with Vicks Sinex nasal spray? Most people think that a tablet is the best treatment, but it's not. Clinical studies show that the ingredient in Vicks Sinex opens up a blocked nose much more than a decongestant tablet can, which means you can breathe much better. Vicks Sinex, clearly better breathing than a tablet.
She's beautiful, seductive, deadly, and about to change his life forever.
This crazy woman comes and she murders my wife, and you got me on trial.
A chilling psychological thriller about blind judgment. 8:30 Monday on 10.
We are back at the colorfully decked out London Arena in London, England. And your score 67-50. The Rockets, who are pulling away after it was just a 6 or a 7 point affair. 7:20 to go in the third quarter. Perth ball.
Coming out of a little trap of their own are the Houston Rockets. A 1-3-1 trap. They had trapped the first pass to try to get a quick shot.
Blaha could not deliver. Here's Kenny Smith. No look by Bryant. The quick passwork of the Houston Rockets. Stretching looking for three. Chucky Brown with a twirly play.
All of a sudden, the things Perth did that got them back into the game they're not doing, and that's one of the things that's causing them problems, is that they're not blocking out.
And the Rockets have matched their largest lead, 19 points. Blaha along the baseline, shovels it off to Fisher, couldn't hit. Robert Ory snatches it down, he'll take it, he may go coast to coast, he does, and then drops it off for Bryant. Baseline jumper, no good. Chucky Brown with a long hand, puts it up, and the tip by Ory.
Again, you don't block him out, you don't have any chance to make any plays.
And a 21-point lead for the Houston Rockets. 6:15 left in the third. I have a feeling the Rockets have regained interest.
Yeah, I'm sure Rudy got their attention at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
And they just needed someone to just say, come on, guys, let's stop messing around here.
Kenny Smith leads the attack. And he's fouled by Grace on the reach-in. Well, this past season, the Rockets won with a smaller and more offensive-oriented team following the Otis-Thorpe-Clyde Drexler trade back on February the 14th. The year before, they did it with a defensive-minded, forceful team, so Rudy Tomjanovich is showing that he can win with just about any kind of team.
Yeah, I thought they were still able to play a little defense. I didn't think what they missed was maybe a little bit more of it at the forward spot, but they combated that when Robert Ory started playing a lot more aggressively and blocking shots. That's the one thing that really doesn't get talked about with Robert Ory.
Yes.
Is with those long arms, he blocks a lot of shots, so you can force your man into the paint, and if Hakeem doesn't get it, Robert Ory will get it.
And Robert Ory proving that he could move from small forward to power forward without any problem, and still able to stick it from outside. Here's Stewart, nowhere to go. Ricky Grace up high, fronted by Drexler. He says, I'll try it from three. And Chucky Brown now balls it in. Back come the Rockets like a tidal wave. Whoa! Clyde Drexler. Showtime.
Oh, I can see that one coming all along. Once Robert Ory got within the step of the basket, there was no question where that was going.
The end of the Rockets bench celebrating. Sam Cassell is up. 73-50. Houston opening up a 23-point lead. Pretty pass there by Blaha. What a stuff. Ory came out of nowhere, and Chucky Brown.
Watch the lob. Watch the lob.
Here it comes. But Drexler keeps it alive. Brown and he's fouled by Crawford.
Get a chance to get the ball pushed up. Clyde Drexler sees Ori on his right, and he beats the traffic here. Fakes left, come back right, and underneath the basket for the finish. You think that one should have been a technical or what? Watch this. I mean, he starts on the one side of the basket, and before you can get there, he is down in the hoop.
Toying with the Perth Wildcats. That one for the highlight reel for Clyde Drexler and Robert Ori. Here's Brown at the line.
They've been dying to try to get a dunk the entire game. Their fans were waiting on it. Even though the game was going up and down, there was such good defensive effort getting back that they couldn't get a dunk in.
Chucky Brown with Cleveland, the Lakers, New Jersey, Dallas. The putback there. And with 4:41 left in the third quarter, Chucky Brown will leave, and here comes Pete Chilcutt back into the ball game. He of the sweet outside shot for a big man.
Yeah, he does. He's got a touch. The three-point shot. He was the one that they were relying on a great deal before Robert Ori started getting more comfortable with it. Sam Purcell and Kenny Smith felt that he could start making his shot.
Off the pick is Catalini, guarded by Ori, into Crawford. Squeezes through, lost it. Good tip away by Drexler. Here comes Kenny Smith, and he wins that foot race with Ricky Grace.
That's the quickness that he has. I mean, he can shoot three-point shot, but he's got great foot speed.
A 26-point lead for the Rockets. Lahov. And away from the ball, we've got a whistle and a foul.
Got a foul, I believe they called the foul on Chilcutt. Yep.
Pete Chilcutt, 6'11", out of North Carolina, a valuable commodity on this team. Very sound fundamentally. Here's the timeout on the floor. With 4:04 remaining in the third period from London, the 1995 McDonald's Championship rages on. 76-50.
This is an original McDonald's 30-cent soft-serve cone, the original Great Value cone. And right now, with a free Cadbury's Freddo Frog, it's even better value.
It's my time. The Wildcats have won their third championship in the NBL.
Hey Ricky, what you gonna do now you've won the NBL championship?
We won the championship now. Everybody needs to come celebrate it. Wiggles and giggles.
This is Le Deli, and this is Le Snacks Le Deli.
Swiss style for you. A bit of Edam, there you go. And some tasty.
A range of delicious Le Deli cheeses and tasty crisp breads in a precise Le Serve for one. Le Snack Le Deli cheese range. You know it's good because it's made by Uncle McDonald's.
What you gonna do when you win lotto?
The special edition Jeep Cherokee Classic features all the luxuries that you'd expect from Jeep, plus a few extra, such as a 6-stacker CD player, 30 CDs of your choice from Brashers, and more, all at no extra cost. But remember, it is a special edition, and a classic model like this is sure to be a hit.
Shoes, yeah! Yeah, shoes, baby!
He's got all the physical tools.
I want to coach him.
She'll let nothing stand in her way.
Maybe if you'd given Matt what he needed, he wouldn't have had to harass me.
Two rookies.
We just sit by each other here. I can't wait to see him in trunks.
Getting a baptism of fire.
They're still alive.
Stranded on the ocean floor.
Trapped in any of these rooms or hallways.
We don't have time to wait for a salvage train.
They made it inside, but they don't have their air tanks with them.
The explosive 2-hour season finale.
We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here now.
Baywatch, Sunday on 10.
The Houston Rockets blowing the Perth Wildcats off the floor in the third quarter. The first half ended 51-42 Rockets by 9, and it has been all Clyde Drexler and company here in the third quarter with still 4 minutes remaining. Here's Wahab from 3. The Wildcats 2 of 13 from 3, 15%. The Rockets 10 for 26, 39%. Very respectable. Kenny Smith.
Oh!
Drexler can run the floor.
They get there quickly. Kenny Smith can push it up quickly, and Clyde just waited until he can sneak right in there for the easy little dunk.
Clyde Drexler really looks to be in mid-season form.
They said he came in training camp in as good a shape as they've seen anybody in a long time.
Preseason average of 21 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. That will count. Went in anyway. Ricky Grace.
Or just to make a good defensive play right there, get his hand on the ball, and then they push it up and get a score on the other end. Clyde reading it, coming down to do it.
The good defense leading to the excellent offense on the fast break. Here comes Scott Fisher back into the game, number 30 for Perth. Fisher 14 points. 78-52 the Rockets. Clyde Drexler with good reason to smile. He's been averaging close to 40 minutes in the preseason. Of course, picking up the slack with Hakeem Olajuwon out, and he's been getting to the line a lot. He's been getting to the line on the average 10 times a game.
Clyde has always been able to get to the line because he still can slice and he can jump high enough that he can get it in the air and be out of control a little bit, and you can make contact, and he's smart enough to get it up to the basket.
Not that it matters as much as it did earlier, but now Wahab on the bench with 5 fouls. His team down 27. Grace keeps it going and can't hit. Back tap to Smith. Little stutter step past Grace.
One thing about Ricky Grace, he hadn't seen this kind of speed before. He's played against it maybe when they were in high school, or even something. Oh! Left hand!
What a play! Clyde Drexler putting on a show.
Well, just as he's been doing all year, he's carrying his team again.
He is dynamic. Now Chilcutt with the steal. Back to Clyde. Drexler does it again. Nifty pass. Smith for 3. No, Bryant keeps it alive off the boards over Fisher. Chilcutt for 3. And finally snared by Perth. Two minutes to go in the third. 29-point lead for the Rockets. That ball nearly went in.
Yeah, almost went in. Clyde Drexler actually got a hand on it and was able to start it the other way. You see the shot will go up here by Chilcutt, who misses the easy left hand, and then out of nowhere, Clyde comes with the left and dunks it through the basket. I mean, this is a great move. I mean, look how far he is from the basket with the left hand. I mean, just barely able to grab it.
A scintillating performance here by Clyde Drexler. Like that word, huh?
Most impressive.
I always travel with my trusty thesaurus. Here's Scott Fisher. Ooh, almost stolen by Drexler. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Wildcats.
Yeah, Clyde Drexler got in the way of that one. He didn't nearly touch it, but all he did, he made Stewart swing it away, and he swung it away from himself, threw it right out of bounds.
The Wildcats will see Clyde Drexler in their nightmares tonight. He has caused havoc. Both of them. Fisher, the foul, is 4th. So the Rockets going now with Mario Elie, Sam Cassell, Robert Horry, Pete Chilcutt, and Clyde Drexler. They have so many interchangeable parts on this team, which also makes them so successful.
Horry makes them that way. Robert Horry makes them that kind of team because of his ability to play so many different positions. I mean, he can play pretty comfortably 3 positions, but probably could play a little bit of the 2 guard.
They surprised a lot of people last year in the National Basketball Association by repeating, and the way things look, I wouldn't doubt a 3-peat.
All right, well, let's not get carried away there now.
I realize who they're playing right now, but this is a very strong team.
It's an impressive team. Chicago's made themselves a legitimate contender.
Oh,
Dennis Rodman, does what he's capable of doing, they're contenders. You know, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen are probably the two best defensive players, and they happen to be on the same team, so they cover up for a lot from him.
And if anybody can keep Mr. Rodman in line, I would think it would be Jordan and Pippen.
Yeah, I particularly Michael Jordan. He demands excellence, and Rodman is a little different, but he understands how to win, and if you come doing the things that are necessary to win, he'll give you the respect he thinks you deserve.
Madonna obviously couldn't do it, so we'll see what happens in Chicago.
I'm not quick enough to test that one.
83-52, moving right along.
And Orlando's still a team you got to deal with.
24-second violation. The Rockets swept the Orlando Magic in 4 games, and Hakeem Olajuwon did the job on Shaquille O'Neal.
The experience proved out. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Oh, almost a spectacular one-hand play by Drexler. He's even laughing coming back on defense.
Well, he and Sam Cassell are laughing. First of all, Sam Cassell threw the ball almost to the top of the backboard. They're laughing because it was such a bad pass.
Traher hits the 3. What makes it amazing is that Drexler almost converted it.
Yeah, that is what made it a little amazing to me.
Yep, stolen away. It is helter-skelter time. Dawson Thompson out there, number 34, 6'4", guard for the Perth Wildcats. 36.3 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Would Robbie Orr think he has his own little free throw line, own little personal free throw line?
That's the way it seems. Horry has 18 points. He's 6 for 11 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, 3 of 4 from the line.
12
from the line, and 12 bounds.
3 blocks.
Pretty good line for Mr. Horry.
Yeah, he's become quite a big part of what they do. It allows them a lot. I'm telling you, what he brings to them in terms of latitude is unbelievable. And Clyde does that, because Clyde can play 3 positions. He can't play power forward, but he can play the other 3 below that, 1, 2, and 3, which is your point guard, shooting guard, and small forward.
And Robert Horry was probably the most outspoken critic when the Clyde Drexler-Otis Thorpe trade took place back on February 14th. But Clyde Drexler had the last laugh.
Well, I think he was outspoken, but I'm not going to tell you that I didn't agree with him.
Sure. Most people agreed with Horry at the time. Beautiful pass run. They just know where they are at every moment.
Yeah, they do their little share of talking, I think, as well, but that was pretty good because Ellie looks all the time. You see right now, Ellie gets the ball, and he sees it when he catches the ball, and he knows it's Clyde's coming. He just doesn't know when he's going to get there. I'm sure had Clyde not gotten fouled, he would have dunked that.
And a chance now for a three-point play for Clyde Drexler. Reunited with his Phi Slamma Jamma teammate Hakeem Olajuwon from the University of Houston. Never got a ring in college, but got his first championship ring in some 13 years in the pros.
They lose a game to North Carolina State on a shot just thrown in the air, an air ball, and gets tipped in at the buzzer. They clearly had the best team in basketball.
And there's your buzzer to end the third. Would not have counted. The Rockets exploding here in the third after being up by only 9 points at the half. And now after 3, it is the Houston Rockets 88, the Perth Wildcats 55. We'll be back with more McDonald's championship action in just a moment.
This is an original McDonald's 30-cent soft-serve cone, the original Great Value cone. And right now, with a free Cadbury's Freddo Frog, it's even better value.
It's my time. You need a beat next to it.
Feature for feature, there's no housing deal better than Collier Homes Ultimax Complete Home Package. A 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom home for $52,980. A complete home with carpets, window treatments, a gas pack, brick paving, fences, and much more. The $52,980 Ultimax Complete Home Package. Phone 3446644 now, because if you don't get Collier to build your home, you won't be getting the best deal.
Converse, you piece of shoe.
What you gonna do when you win lotto?
What a game, what a season. The Wildcats, 1995 NBL champions and Western Australia's only premiership team. Wildcats 1996 season tickets will be available from Monday, October 23rd at Red Tickets. And to say thanks for your support, when you purchase your season ticket, we'll refund 50% of the purchase price of your grand final Game 3 ticket. Hurry, this championship offer ends November 30th. Contact Red Tickets now on 484-1222.
Amanda's had enough.
Get up, you slime, and get out of here.
But she still wants more.
I want my office back.
And as for Joe and Jess,
I need to talk to you alone.
you'll just have to watch. Melrose Place, 8:30 Tuesday.
Unfortunately for the Wildcats, it is 88-55 Rockets.
Wildcats still will be a hero when they go home. I mean,
I agree.
They won their championship. They played against the Houston Rockets. Nobody really expected them to beat them. They expected them to play hard and represent the country well. And they've done that. They really have. They've played as hard as they can play.
Here comes Mario Ellie off the air ball. Finally grabs it. Long pass to Chilcutt. Spins and hits. Very agile move by Chilcutt.
You don't see Chilcutt down around the basket very much. Even though he's 6'10", he's a jump shooter. So that's a rare layup you see him shoot.
Used to play for the Sacramento Kings and the Detroit Pistons. Now found a home with the Rockets. And Chilcutt with the rebound. Nearly stolen by the Wildcats. Here comes Cassell. Holds it up. Shovels it off to Ellie for three.
Can't let him get his feet set. He sets up. He's as good as anybody in the business shooting three-point shots.
Mario Ellie, who hit the game-winning three in the final seconds of Game 7 at Phoenix in the NBA playoffs last year. 93-57 Rockets with a minute gone by in the fourth quarter.
We got Timbro, Eldridge, McCasner. These guys can't afford to take this, as you will, as garbage time. They've got to make sure that they're putting their best foot forward as you go here the last 10:51 in the game, because they don't get many opportunities to play. They got an exhibition season game here with a chance to show their wares, because otherwise decisions are being made on them based upon how they handle the time when they're on the floor.
Yeah, there is a good look at Tim Bro. In his second year out of Wyoming, former CBA star, Continental Basketball Association. Back in the United States. Here's Vlaha back outside to Grace for three. And the nice follow. The put back by Matthew Earp, who's just 21. Here's Reekastner, and it's stolen by Earp.
Makes a pass. There's Reekastner makes a pass anticipating somebody to go and get open, and they didn't.
Reekastner, no stranger to foreign soil. He played in Turkey, Germany, and the Global Basketball Association, former CBA MVP last year, with Yakima, the Sun Kings. All right, Ricky Grace at the free throw line. The former Oklahoma Sooner, who took his team to the finals of the NCAA tournament back in 1988, only to lose to Kansas. Can't bring his team any closer. Here's Reekastner. He averaged 20 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds in the CBA last year. Great line.
The difference between playing in the CBA and here is night and day. But primarily what the difference becomes is because you have to make decisions so much faster.
As Ricky Grace, I'm sure, will attest to, coming from being a college star and now seeing what it's like to play against the NBA. What a difference in level. It is not even close.
No, it really isn't. I mean, you got to make decisions faster. You got to get where you're going with a better sense of what you're trying to get done.
And they beat the clock.
They beat the clock. This is a really young team that Perth has out here. I mean, I think that's to their credit for them to win the NBL championship.
Well, the kid who just scored was 18, Craig McAndrews.
Right. You see the shot by Tim Grove. You see he's got very good rhythm, good feel.
95-59. Rockets, 9:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Here's Vlahov backing in on Bro.
See, they're still being patient, still trying to get something out of it.
3 on the shot clock. Here's Earp. Earp with the follow. McAndrews battles for it, but Cassell comes out of there with it.
He comes out trying to talk to the official, not knowing that the official is either from Lithuania or France. He's not very well listening to what you're talking about and may not understand it.
Yeah. Grace out of the backcourt for Perth. Tries to get over to Vlahov, who collides with the stanchion. It will be Perth ball.
But a good effort on the part of Mario Ellie just to get there to stop the ball from getting it.
Perth Wildcats will return to NBL, National Basketball League play, after this game, or after the games tomorrow, I should say. They'll play in the consolation game. It's still Perth ball, and the substitution, Scott Fisher will check back in. Another veteran, 32.
Assuming, and I think it's safe to assume things are not going to change drastically here from here. You got Bologna going to play the Houston Rockets. It may be a little bit of a different game. You have to wonder at some point, when does fatigue set in? You play 3 games in 3 nights. They basically have outlawed that in the NBA.
Right.
So to do that, Houston playing tonight and then playing again tomorrow, maybe a little bit fresher legs. But I thought that might have been a little bit of factor tonight when the Butler Real Madrid game, and it really didn't turn out to be much of a factor.
Scott Fisher able to hit there, and of course the Houston Rockets will have the fresher legs because they drew a bye in the first round. So 2 games in 3 nights for the Rockets.
But they won't be able to do the same things tomorrow that they were able to do tonight.
Sure. Throw.
Took it strong, but if you take it that strong and get that close to the basket, you got to dunk that.
Here's Ricky Grace, shakes and bakes. Stewart can't hit from deep for 3. And Sam Cassell from behind the back moves past Stewart into the forecourt. Oh, he's full of vim and vigor here.
Oh, yeah. Sam Cassell was a 2-time junior college All-American.
Shot cut from deep 3.
Sam Cassell was a very good player before he went to Florida State. He was an All-American.
I think he played in the same backcourt with a Heisman Trophy winner, Charlie Ward.
Yeah, they were definitely playing together.
Charlie Ward now a member of the New York Knicks in the NBA.
I think Charlie Ward's got a chance to be a good player.
Especially under Don Nelson, who will probably give him some minutes.
Give him some minutes and give him the range, just because he just needs to get out on the floor.
24-second violation. And for the first time tonight, we'll see 6'8", 225-pound Alvin Heggs, but we'll have to wait until after this timeout. 6:58 remaining in the fourth period here in London. Your score: the defending NBA champion Houston Rockets 98, the Perth Wildcats 63. Stay with us.
Come on. Go.
Too much alcohol, too often, can kill you.
Shoes, yeah! Yeah, shoes, baby!
Automasters offers a major service for just $149. This includes high-tech tune-up, full lube service, safety check, and 6 months, 10,000-kilometer warranty. Have a major service before Christmas and you could win a new Holden Barina. Automasters for complete peace of mind.
Here's a way of reducing watering, transplanting shock and sunburn by protecting seedlings, shrubs and lawns with Yates Stress Guard. Applied to the foliage, Stress Guard forms a protective sunscreen that helps reduce water loss by as much as 50%. When you visit your local Waldeck Garden Centre, it's great to know it's Western Australian owned and operated. Waldeck's know WA gardens best, so where would you go for local know-how and WA grown plants? Where else but Waldeck's?
Feature for feature, there's no housing deal better than Collier Homes Ultimax Complete Home Package. A 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom home for $52,980. A complete home with carpets, window treatments, a gas pack, brick paving, fences, and much more. The $52,980 Ultimax Complete Home Package. Phone 3446644 now, because if you don't get Collier to build your home, you won't be getting the best deal.
You know how important it is to keep your car clean, but did you know how important it is to keep your fuel system clean? A clean fuel injector jet is about the thickness of a human hair. That's a hair's breadth between good performance and no performance at all. Win Spitfire keeps fuel systems clean, and it's so simple to use. Just put it in your petrol. Win Spitfire, now available for diesels too.
Stop loving you, whatever else I may do, my love for you will live till time itself is through. I'll never stop wanting you.
And on the floor now is the rookie from Texas. We'll see for the first time the big body of Alvin Hegg, 6'8", 225, played in Japan and in Argentina. But he didn't start playing basketball until his junior year in high school, a late bloomer, number 55.
And he got the ball exactly where he needs to get it, down on the left block, so he can turn to his right shoulder, to his left shoulder, and get his little jump hook.
So the Rockets hit the century mark and lead it 100-63. Heggs the rebound.
So you're talking about a team that the most experienced players offensively, Charles Jones and Pete Chilcutt, and neither one of them handle the ball very well. So they've got the control in the hands of Aldrich Ricasner.
Pete Chilcutt. Ricasner over to Bro. Heggs wanting it. Heggs getting it. Heggs double teamed. Charles Jones also in there. And the three for Ricasner.
Yeah, you can see the stroke was pretty good there. Had that one lined up. It was no question from the time it left his hands.
6'3", Eldridge Ricasner in his second year out of the University of Washington. Little backdoor play, and Stewart couldn't hang on, but he does save it.
He couldn't hang on because Alvin Heggs was standing ready to block it, and Stewart was trying to figure out where to go with it before he could get it.
Heggs at 6'8", 225, and Stewart at 6'5", 194. I'd say that is a slight mismatch. 103-63, a 40-point fall. It's the biggest margin of victory in McDonald's championship history since 1987 is 34 points. Denver against Barcelona back in '89. And that record could be shattered tonight.
I think it's in jeopardy, in serious jeopardy.
I'd say so.
He quick tipped that. He hit the ball on the way up, and then that's what they call a quick tip, and he quick tipped it. Alvin Heggs did, so it's going to be Perth's ball.
All right, here's Ricky Grace, who has played almost every minute of this game. Ricasner breaking it up out of bounds. 17 on the shot clock for the Wildcats. Wildcats beat North Melbourne for the title this past Sunday, the National Basketball League title of Australia, and then traveled almost immediately to London in a nightmare of a trip through Singapore.
They actually won it, I believe, on Sunday.
Yes.
And what happened was nobody was really prepared to go because the coach allowed anybody to even talk about it, getting passports or getting clothes. Didn't want to jinx it, so he just wouldn't let the players talk about it. So Coach Hurley, at some point, after they won, they finally had to rush around to get everything done. And then they had to get here, and it took them a long time. Oh, he got away with an offensive foul. He's laughing. He know he did.
Yeah, he did. Alvin Hegg. He'll take it.
He's got pretty good sized hands. He's got actually huge hands. He took that one up. His left arm definitely pushed off. You watch, Bro makes a good one. Watch his left arm. That's an offensive foul. I don't care how you cut it. He got away with it. That's a wipeout. And he's laughing because he know he got away with that one.
The Australian League actually had 3 teams standing by as Ricky Grace connects on the three-pointer. He is now 4 for 14, has 14 points, 2 for 9 from three-point range. They had 3 teams standing by to make the trip to London, and the Perth Wildcats won the championship. And they made the long trip at the very last second. Tim Brough hits, and he makes it. 107-68 Rockets. Number 44 is 18-year-old Craig McAndrews.
I tell you, he is strong, too. I'm watching him battle Alvin Higgs. He's pushing him, and he's not afraid to knock around.
He goes 6'9", 229. He played very well against the NCAA champion UCLA Bruins. Perth lost a very close game to the national champs UCLA.
Yeah, Coach Early thought that they had him beat, and they ended up letting that one get away. He at that time, and he said, I didn't think they were going to be national champions, but he said that's a game we should have won.
All right, here's Alvin Higgs bringing the ball down.
Working on his ball handling.
Yes. Rowe. Reed Kastner, here's Chilcutt. Quick release, catch and shoot, got it.
Well, you can't get up there late on him.
.110-68 Rockets. McAndrew just flings it when he heard the whistle for the foul.
He's got a nice little feel for the game. If you can feel it that you're going to get fouled, you try to get some. Just make sure you get it going to the basket. That's what you call a nice little feel for it.
Got some pretty good experience for an 18-year-old kid on the national junior team the last 4 years, able to tour the world. He's seen Asia, Europe, and the United States. And now, at this tender age, gets to say that he played against the 2-time defending champion Houston Rockets.
Yeah, this will give him some memories. This may be, for a lot of these guys, this is a one-in-a-lifetime. Most of them, they may never get to do this again, to play against an NBA team as a team and then happen to be the world champions. This is a great experience for them to be able to do that.
Their coach, Dr. Adrian Hurley, told us that he was most pleased for 35-year-old James Crawford, the American from Alabama, who never played in anything like this event. Nothing like this. He says it's just so neat for that guy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, at this stage, there's only a year or two, if that,
left.
You got a chance to continue to play and to be able to play under these circumstances. It's got to be very special.
Pete Chilcutt up high with Trahair. And there's a travel on Jones. Charles Jones, quite a story himself at 38 years old, one of 4 brothers who made it to the big time. Caldwell Jones, Will Jones, Major Jones, and this man, Charles Jones. They all attended Albany State in Georgia.
I played with Major Jones when I was coming out of high school, and I watched Caldwell Jones. As a matter of fact, when we talked earlier about Julius Erving winning an NBA championship, Caldwell Jones was on that team with them.
And you told me the other day that they each attended the same school so they could be able to break each other's records.
Yeah, they did. That's why they all went to Albany State, so they could have the last rights to say who got the record.
Well, they keep it in the family. The Jones family. 110-70 Rockets under 3 minutes remaining.
Thinking about tomorrow's game, I'm curious how Perth is going to be coming out against Real Madrid, because they got the same problem there as they got here, except I think they'll have their confidence a lot sooner.
Well, Perth, not a running team, not a high-scoring team, very defensive-oriented. They shoot a lot less threes than other teams, and this is their first time shooting an NBA Three at 22 feet from the center of the rim. Fisher cannot hit. Here comes the Kasner. Down to Bro. And offensive foul.
Oh, they call offensive foul. It is a tough position, I guess, to make the call from, but that was hard to say offensive foul.
And the Houston Rockets will be facing Buckler Bologna, the Italian A1 League champions, tomorrow night in the championship game. And the Perth Wildcats will battle Real Madrid in one of the consolation games. That will be for third place in this tournament. Minute 50 remaining. And the foul by Hicks. All he has to do is touch you and you go down.
Hey, he's strong. I'm telling you, he's strong. As you look at the ice and on guys' legs and knees and relaxing, there's Hakeem Olajuwon in the center of the screen next to Clyde down the coaching staff.
Yep. The man holding the legal pad there is Larry Smith in the lighter suit there. There you go.
Mr. Mean.
Mr. Mean. He was a terrific rebounder in his day with the Golden State Warriors. Right next to Bill Berry and Carol Dawson, the assistant coaches. Heggs just using that big body to back in and twirl it in.
Yeah, that's what he does. You know, if they're looking at him to make the team, they got to be looking at his ability to get out on the block and score, because other than Hakeem and Clyde, they really don't have any post-up players, and you don't want to continually have to put Clyde down there because he has to take too much punishment.
1:15 remaining. Here's a steal. Eldridge Recaster with the finger roll. (114-70). And there will be a new record for margin of victory in this tournament. 34 the previous.
Oh. And I thought he was pretty lucky that he got called for the foul.
Ryan Gardner was decked.
Well, if Gardner didn't get the foul call on him, he was about to run into Alvin Higgs, and he was off balance, and I saw that being a problem. That's why I said I thought he was pretty good. He got called for the foul.
If I had the choice, I'd have the foul called on him.
You need the foul call because you don't want to run into Higgs.
His dad, the first commissioner, Ryan Gardner, of the National Basketball League in Australia, former Olympian. Oh, nice pass to Heggs.
Good effort to stay after the ball and come up with it in there. Eldridge Recaster does a good job getting back defensively.
30 seconds to go in the game.
Well, Orlando Woolridge gets his wish. He gets a chance to go against the defending NBA champions. It won't be the finals of the championship, but at least he gets a chance to play.
He's never gotten a championship ring in 13 years in the NBA, but he'll get to go against the two-time defending NBA champs tomorrow night. 19 and a half seconds to go. 44-point, now 42-point deficit for Perth. 15 seconds and counting. Eldridge Recaster. So 44 points, the biggest margin for the Rockets in this game. It's now 116-72, back to 44 as time runs out. That will do it.
All of a sudden, the scoreboard was about to go crazy again, but the fans did appreciate a very good game on the part of the Houston Rockets.
The Houston Rockets win it going away. It was actually, believe it or not, if you're just joining us, a 9-point game at the half. It was 51-42, and then Clyde Drexler and company completely took over this ball game and won it without any problem whatsoever, beating the Wildcats by a tournament record 44 points, 116-72. Clyde the Glide wound up with 16. High man for the Rockets was Ori with 20. Drexler had 16. Chilcott had 13. Leading the way for the Perth Wildcats was Scott Fisher with 18 points. Blahoff in foul trouble for most of the game had 15 points. So Kenny Smith wound up with 13. The Rockets shot 49%, 14 for 35. A very respectable 40% from three-point range. Whereas the Wildcats had difficulty from the field all night long at 30%, 4 for 21 from downtown.
Well, you have just witnessed the America's Cup of Australian basketball. The Perth Wildcats' performance is so great that it will be talked about around the world for many, many moons to come. We'll have more details on the result in Network 10's News and Sports Tonight. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from me in London for the McDonald's Championship.
Don't ever stop.
Lunchaw off the spin. Nothing but net.
Tough shot. I mean, good defensive pressure because Lonchar tried to go to his left where he wants to go and got cut off and made a nice little spin move to get that shot.
Nicola Lonchar has 18 points. 7-point lead for the Wildcats. Trahair down to Crawford, who has had a huge game. Good pass to Blahov, and he finds Trahair way off. Arlakis grabs it. Here comes Antunes. On the fly to Lonchar. Good duck under move.
Yeah, that's what Lonchar will do. If he gets in that area, he's not going to pass it very often. Not in there.
Here comes Real Madrid. They're down by 5 after trailing 9. And Ricky Grace to the deliberate style.
And that's to see how, but see, there's a big difference.
And you walk.
Speed and the way your style of play when you start slowing it down. And what you have to be able to do is get it down in the half-court set and be able to be quick with your cut still. And that's what they're not doing. And Ricky Grace got called for traveling on that one.
Adrian Hurley trying to get his team back in focus here. They have lost it. Lonchar breezes past Trahair. Everything but the basket as they finally close the door on him. Here comes Grace off a neat catch. Grace with that low hard dribble over to James Crawford. The trailer way out there. Here's Scott Fisher. Now they reset. Trahair. The 19-year-old Aaron Trahair deals it off for Andrew Blahov. He can't hit. Romero lost the ball out of bounds. It hit the line.
Well, he really did. Blahov had the shot. They got the shot they wanted to get because Trahair broke the defense down, got the open man. I'm sure they'd like to have Fisher, who's, you know, probably for their money, the more consistent shooter. But they got what they needed. Just couldn't knock down the easy shot.
Fisher. And an aggressive rebound by Lonchar. Real Madrid down 5. High pass taken by Arlakis.
How do you lose a guy 6'9", about 240? And that's exactly what Perth did last time. They lost Joe Arlakis, and Adrian Hurley, the team coach, has decided enough is enough. Came out with a much better sense of focus, I thought, did Real Madrid better than they had in the past. But I'm sure that's because Coach Obradovic was a little more adamant about the way things need to get done. You see a little half-court trap to try to force the tempo, a little bit of out of control for Perth. This you have to dribble into the zone.
Here's Crawford losing momentarily. 5 on the shot clock. Fisher in a crowd. Nowhere to go. Trahair, long 3. Oh, and a putback by Crawford.
Yeah, that's what happens. Again, in a zone, it can happen where you're blocking out areas as opposed to people allowing Crawford to get that basket.
James Crawford playing inspired basketball. It's now 74-69 Perth.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about somebody standing behind him 6'8" and 250 as it, you know, when you're playing against the Houston Rockets. So he's been a lot more active. And probably not as awestruck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they reset the clock to 24. Yeah, many combinations of adversity facing Crawford last night for sure against the defending champion Houston Rockets. A different story today. And Tunes, long rebound, Scott Fisher. And he sends it back to Crawford. Little point center action there for a moment.
Grace was pretty well covered by Tunes. Throw it in there. Now he's tough in here.
And Blahov draws the foul, and it looks to be on Romero.
And the reason I say Blahov is tough is first of all, he's very strong for his size. You can see he's pretty well developed. But if he gets the ball in there, he can just put his body on you, and he can just lock you and get almost anywhere he needs to get.
He is built like a rugby player. That's a pretty good play.
I'm telling you, this guy, he's got some savvy. The shot, you have to get the ball. It has to be released out of your hand within 5 seconds. That wasn't going to happen. So what he did was just took it and threw it off of Real Madrid.
He batted it off Romero. There's a hook by Fisher in a crowd. Comes out to Nicola Lonchar. His team down 5. Running it is Romero. showing his agility. Juan Ignacio Romero at 7'2", able to run the floor. 3-point ball game. Crawford. Blahov keeps it alive. Spin moves.
And he just threw Longchar out of the way, too.
Blahov beginning to come alive offensively now with 9 points. And that's just what the doctor ordered for Dr. Adrian Hurley. Ripped away by Blahov. Boy, he has it turned up now. Over to Fisher. He stops and pops. And the tip by Blahov nearly put it down. And then he is... Wait a minute, there's a whistle. Let's see who they called it on.
Well, Blahov is involved. He got fouled. I mean, he kept it live. He missed it. He kept it live, got down to the other end, and did it again. And he's the one that got fouled.
Antunes.
They called it on Antunes. You see Blahov try to tip that one up. He misses it. Back in the action here. Antunes and Romero in the mix, and they call it on Antunes.
7:53 left in the fourth. The action really heating up. 76-71 Perth. Blahov takes a big deep breath, try to collect himself. And he hits double figures. He has 10 rebounds to go along with his 10 points, so a double-double for Blahov.
Yeah, he's one of those players that kind of, you look at this box score and you're not really sure what all he did, but as you've watched in this game, you see he'll make little plays, good passes. The pass he makes to Fisher is the right pass. Fisher's one of their best shooters, and Fisher just missed the easy shot.
So after that timeout, Perth able to regain their composure. They're back up by 7 after they saw their lead dwindle to 3. Arlakis, the double pump, nowhere to go. Good defense, and Antunes from deep. Lasso keeps it alive. Or Abad, I'm sorry. Santiago Abad, number 5. Here's Antunes. He resets. Clark's out of play. Ricky Grace on him. And the foul on Grace. And if I'm not mistaken, that's number 5. Yep.
Well, you get a chance to get in position, just stay there. There's a 3-second call about to be called there. Ricky Grace was complaining to the Fisher that nothing should have been called, but he's reaching his arm in there. If he's over there with his body, and then Antunes jumps through there, that's obviously a foul, but not if you're going to put your arm over there.
Antunes able to hit the first. Only his second trip to the line. 78-73 Perth. 7:20 and counting in the fourth quarter. This for third place in the 95 McDonald's Championship. The Houston Rockets are next for the title game against Bucca Bologna of Italy. James Crawford posting up down low, back outside to Grace. Crawford battling hard with Abad. 5 on the shot clock. Long feed, deep corner. And there's Catalini, does not get the roll. Beautiful tip, Blahov.
Well, Catalini actually got his own tip, but it was a nice job in getting some penetration to the basket, and he shot it a little soft, so was able to get back and put it down.
80-73, Perth by 7.
Oh, no way.
And Crawford came from nowhere to make the play.
I could see him coming, that's why I said no way. Good speed, good speed.
Grace puts the foul. A fearless penetration move by Ricky Grace.
Now that's you taking advantage of your speed again. This is where Perth is at his best. When they get the ball, again, from a defensive play, you got everybody standing around. Ricky Grace pushes it up. Longchar rushes to get back. Olakis gets over late. Left hand, Ricky Grace knocks it down for 2, looking to complete the 3-point play.
And he could give Perth their biggest lead of the game. And he does, a 10-point lead. 83-73, 6:30 left in the fourth.
Now what we want to watch here is they had the 9-point lead, and it was after the timeout. And from there, Perth lost all of their energy like they took it for granted. We'll see what happens from here.
Antunes misses, but Abad keeps it alive. A new 24. Grace now with 22. And Abad able to make it 83-75 Perth. Crawford and Grace providing the offensive thrust, but Blahov has come alive of late. There he is again, a little too strong.
Now you know what that was?
Romero too all over.
He's leg weary.
Yeah.
And by that means, as Crawford watched that shot, he doesn't have the strength to jump up and make the move the way he needs to. He's a little tired in the legs.
The fatigue beginning to set in this tournament. Most of these teams playing 3 games in 3 days. That's tough. Oh, look out. A hard foul by
Intentional foul.
Yeah, all over Crawford.
Yeah. But it was a good ball movement. First of all, you get the pass from Vlahoff, and then right there, because there's just no chance that he's making any play for the basketball, as it's rightfully called an intentional foul by Abad, Santiago Abad.
That is Abad's 3rd, so nobody on the line for Crawford for the tee.
But he knew it. Yeah, he let it go, and he screamed, with good reason. If means not what I want.
He's a 74% free throw shooter on the norm that time. Right down the middle.
And they get the ball out on the side. That's what an intentional foul is. 2 shots, and you retain possession of the ball.
Similar to a flagrant foul situation in the NBA. 84-75, 9-point lead for the Perth Wildcats, champs of the Australian National Basketball League. And down low off the ball, Abad again fouling Crawford. That's Ferrer, pardon me.
And that's that, and you know what that is.
Yeah,
you know how Ferrer plays. He's very aggressive, and he actually got himself in some troubles by taking some ill-advised moves in 2 games ago. So he's subject to get involved in that kind of play, but they need to find somebody, and I think it's a good move by the coach.
Fisher's back in for the Perth Wildcats. Ferrer threw a wandering elbow at Roger Huggins, I believe it was. Yeah, the star player for the Sheffield Sharks a couple of nights ago, and that was kind of out of line. Crawford has the stroke. Biggest lead for Perth, 86-75. 5:20 to go in the 4th. Here's Abad. Outside to Lasso. Puts the fake on Grace. Nice runner with the shuffle. Vlahoff. Here comes Lasso. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Over to Lonchar for 3.
Oh, there's a foul underneath.
As Ferrer winds up on the deck.
They call it on Fisher. I mean, you can see in the center of your screen, watch Fisher just get right in there. A little bit of falling down there. And I think it looks on the part of Martin Ferrer, but that's what they call the foul on because it looks as though Scott Fisher had pushed him.
That is number 4 on Fisher. 9-point lead for Perth as we step away.
Hey kids, I'm trying to read your book. Can I stay outside?
Airstrike!
What about the zoo?
Right now, inside KFC's new Fun Bucket, you find an Airstrike action toy.
The park?
There's 4 to collect with a new toy each week, as well as a drumstick, chips and a Coke.
KFC?
Yahoo! That's buckets of fun for $3.95.
I gotcha.
Just take a look at this new and exciting selection of outdoor furniture at Rosenthal Oasis in Balcatta. 6 chairs and oval table discounted to $295. Stackable chairs from $19.95 each. Timber settings, Jarrah, teak or Quilla from $299. This aluminium setting's only $599, including cushions. Stackable sun lounges with side tray, $129. And take a look at the garden accessories. For something different, it's got to be Rosenthal's Oasis at one great location in Balcatta.
Kevin Johnson, man. You gotta give the guy credit. I mean, he's a shrimp, right? 6'1", but he blasts through the paint like Grant taking Richmond. And just so you know, he wears Converse shoes with React juice. Total plug, yeah, so what? The point is, every time he drives to the hole, he runs into guys who are doing more hacking than a cat with a hairball. Doesn't stop him. Plus, he don't badmouth anybody. He don't cop an attitude. You'd have to be nuts not to want a guy like that on your team. So anyways, KJ, he's our man, yada-da-yada-da-yada-da. Converse.
Shake, 1, 2.
Well, now you shake it to the left, shake it to the right. With all
unhappy with your excess weight, Slimax drops from Yoland Limb can help. Like all Yoland Limb healthcare products, Slimax is designed to help your body help itself. Based on traditional methods and modern technology, Slimax drops combined with a sensible eating program and moderate exercise offers a simple way to help you lose weight.
Eastern tradition meets Western science. Try Slimax drops from Yoland Limb Healthcare for health with harmony.
Available at Coles.
The fans being entertained by the Houston Rocket Power Dancers making the trip from Texas. Meanwhile, Perth leading Madrid 86-77 with 4:51 remaining in the fourth quarter. Perth blown out by the Houston Rockets last night, but a different story here tonight against Real Madrid.
Well, you saw Martin Ferrer there a moment ago, and you see right there going up, and then looks like he got popped in the eye. Remember, we went out early. He got popped under the eye just accidentally.
A microscopic replay. Here is Lasso. Little zoom action. My goodness, I felt like I was back in biology. Here's Abad. And Romero, he didn't even have to leave the ground. He's 7'2".
Oh, not only that, but he pushed. He had it looked like Wolf on his left hand and just kind of pushed him out of the way. Just lightly touched.
Little extra little touch.
Little touch.
86-79. Perth. 7 on the shot clock. Here's Grace, puts it on the floor, gets it over to Crawford. Pulled the string on it. Abad shovels it off to Lasso at the point. He's got Lunchar on the right, decides to move left and sets up. Romero
can make this shot.
Look at this, up high.
Yeah, he made a shot like that before. He doesn't like to shoot it, but he can make it.
Ferrer is tied up by 3 Wildcats, and finally the foul. Traher all over him. Perth by 7. 3:55 on the clock, and Martin Ferrer will step up to the line. He's only 21, his second year with the ball club, previously for Guadalajara.
Very aggressive player, gets in that kind of rebound and follow-up kind of situation where he got fouled is what he's most noted for. He's just a very tough player.
He's one of those guys, if you're playing against him, you hate him. If he's on your team as a fan, I'm saying, you love him.
Yeah, very much so.
6-point Wildcat lead, 3:45 remaining.
See, this offense has gone stagnant here. They're really not into any kind of play. You're trying to break people down one-on-one, and the shot clock is down to 6.
Ricky Grace cannot deliver from 3. He's got a couple.
You know, the difference was when he got him, the offense he got it from out of the offense where somebody was inside and threw it outside to him.
Fisher racing into the front court, being chased by the little guy Lasso, and now Ricky Grace resets. Well, Perth in no hurry.
If they move to get a basket here, that could prove to be a big rebound for them. Because they weren't getting anything else, and they were able to get a steal opportunity and be able to push it back.
Lasso with the foul, as he fouled Ricky Grace. Grace will step up with a 6-point lead. Ricky Grace having a big game. 22 points, 7 assists, a couple of steals in 41 minutes. He is now 6 for 8 from the free throw line. As a team, the Wildcats an impressive 20 for 24 at the line, 83%. They're shooting 40% from the floor, 5 for 13 from downtown. That's not bad, 39%.
No, you'll take that all day long. Well, what's been most impressive about them, they've been able to stay in the rebounding game. They're up 46 to 43, and they're a much smaller team.
That is impressive. They don't have anybody over 6'9", whereas Real Madrid has a 7'2" and a 7-footer. There's Blaho with a strong rebound.
He got it with Scott Fisher. Scott Fisher looked to see who had it, and I mean, immediately let it go.
Blahov's got a second win, doesn't he? Here he is. Good play by Ferrer. It's back tap.
But there's still only 10 seconds on the shot clock. They didn't hit the rim, and Ricky Grace has got to know that. You don't get a new reset.
Yeah, it's down to 4. He's got to hurry. Fisher bangs and puts it up, and the foul, Romero.
Yeah, it was good that Grace noticed that, but because the shot did not touch the rim, it was not reset.
Romero just picked up his 6th. He fouled out. Scott Fisher to the line. Morales is back now with Romero fouling out. 9-point lead. Scott Fisher with 14 points. 8 rebounds as well. Also has 3 steals.
And clearly the decision was made to leave Joe Alakis on the bench. Just let him rest so they can prepare as they start to go into the rest of the season.
Perth by 10, their biggest lead, 11. We are approaching 2 minutes remaining in the fourth. He's out of control. Abad traveling.
Pardon me, that's one thing, one way to put it. Out of control. Woo!
He had 1 foot in Perth.
Oh, you were better with out of control.
Yeah. Quit while I'm behind. Grace. We haven't said Grace under fire yet, so.
You just got it in.
Be careful. And the push from behind by Morales.
See, that Vlahoff basically draws that foul because the pass was thrown to him. He didn't even have to jump, but he jumped because he could feel the pressure by Morales. And if you do that, you get knocked off balance a little bit. If you don't catch it, you force the official to make a call.
Andrew Vlahoff now has 12. 6 for 7 from the line, 11 rebounds, 2 steals.
And a block shot.
Ooh, Morales almost put it in inadvertently, so it's a 91-80 lead. This equals their largest lead for Perth. Almost may have gotten away with it.
The official just was there to see it.
And they get a 3 out of it. One shot.
Well, that happens. That's part of the game with 1:36 to go.
9-point game. 91-82 Perth, 1:30. Up next, the Houston Rockets and Butler Bologna for first prize. Crawford. Back tap by Fisher. Grace comes out of the pack with it, and they reset.
Yeah, that's what you needed to do. They got to get a reset.
Yeah, they got to. The clock went down by mistake.
Oh, the ball, there's no question about it hitting the rim. That wasn't even close. They just missed it.
So a fresh 24 for the Wildcats of Perth up.
But it shouldn't have been. The guy was right. It should have been 18 seconds. They reset it and left it at 24.
Right. So they got a break on that one.
Got an extra 6 seconds that would have benefited Real Madrid more than anything.
And the reach-in foul on Madrid. Morales. 53 seconds remaining, and Grace will step up to the free throw line once again. He's got 24 points, 7 assists. Big game for Ricky Grace. He had 14 against the Rockets last night. Just a slight difference.
Yeah, he's not playing against guys that are as quickly as he is and taller. That's the biggest difference.
He must have seen Kenny Smith and Sam Cassell in his nightmares last night.
Well, see, they also, you got Kenny Smith, Sam Cassell. I mean, you come with Eldridge for Kastner. You know, they keep coming with people. And every now and then he'd get caught on Mario Ellis. You don't want to keep having to play against those kind of guys all night.
Crawford with another block, his 3rd of the game. Good save by Fisher. Whisks it down to Vlahoff. As time runs down, it's coming up to 30 seconds left. And the Perth Wildcats well on their way to a 3rd place finish at the 1995 McDonald's Championship.
They've done themselves proud because they played last night and not very well in the first half, and I think that they were somewhat embarrassed about. But they're coming here to beat a real good Real Madrid team, so they've got some reason to say, all right, we came over there, we blew the first one, but the second game, we came back, we played strongly, and they're able to come out of here with 11 seconds to go up 10. You would expect they'd come out here with a 3rd place position, and I'd have to say they should be proud of what they've been able to accomplish, considering how far they had to come.
The long, arduous trip, well worth it. From Perth, Australia to London, England, and Dr. Adrian Hurley, reason to smile. And a good hand for Andrew Vlahoff as he leaves the game with 12 points, fouling out. And he could use a good, cool shower.
Yeah, one thing you don't have to ever worry about saying about this kid. He'll play hard. I mean, that's why I like him, because you know he'll play hard, and as you can tell if you look at his line, he's always got his spread across 12 points, 11 rebounds. You know, he only had 1 assist, but he had a block shot, too. So that tells you that he's active around the ball, always involved in the things going on.
And we're looking forward to that championship game coming up next. Clyde Drexler and the Houston Rockets, the first reigning NBA champions to participate in this tournament, as the NBA looks to make it 7 for 7. They have dominated this event.
You know, the NBA has dominated the event, but since the international competition has been called open, the play and the level of play has become better, because the only way you get better is to get out and play against people who are better than you, and that's what this is all about.
This one is in the books. Dr. Adrian Hurley, the head coach of Perth, shaking hands with Zelko Obradovic, and an upset for the Perth Wildcats, champions of Australia, as they surprise European champion Real Madrid, led by Ricky Grace, who came up with 26 points, 7 assists. James Crawford also had 26 points for the Perth Wildcats in a very impressive bounce-back victory for the men from down under, who were walloped by the Houston Rockets last night, able to come back and beat Madrid by a final score of 93-86. So a very impressive victory for the NBL champions of Australia, the Perth Wildcats. All right, Quinn, let's take a look at the statistics. As you can see, not a great shooting game, but Perth able to control the boards for the most part.
And they shot the ball from the foul line. Frankly, this is abysmal. 39% is just something that just shouldn't happen. I don't know how you get 39% out of 22 out of 28, but that's the way it showed up there. But the problem is, when Perth was going, they shot it really well. I thought what they really did was, the key, as you said, is the rebounding. If you can rebound the ball over a bigger team, you give yourself more opportunities to get it going, and that's what they were able to do.
That really is impressive, because that is a small team, the Perth Wildcats, able to out-rebound the much bigger and stronger Real Madrid squad. And as you say, they miss only 5 of 31 foul shots, 84%. So you combine those, and you have a victory.
So a great experience for Perth Wildcats and a breakthrough for Australian basketball. We'll be back, hopefully, in the McDonald's Championship of 1996. But in the meantime, stay with us over the summer on Network 10 as we present another brilliant season of NBA. In the meantime, I'm Bill Woods. Goodbye.
10. Go. Don't ever stop.
You've been watching McDonald's Championship Basketball, where everyone's been jumping for a free Freddo Frog with every 30-cent cone.
She's beautiful, seductive, and deadly.
You wanted her out of the way.